Bashers. Where is everybody? It's Friday night. It's iBashers. It's Dirk. It's classic Bashers. 'Tis the night. It's 4 people in the room. What the hell happened here? What's going on? I don't get it. What's going on? Where are the hundreds of Bashers for a Friday night Basheroony? Where are you? I'll wait. Dum 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 dum. I had problems with the blue screen, so I'm back to green screen, and I don't know. I think I need more lighting. I think that's what it is. I don't know what it is. Let's start off with Andrew Wolkowicz with Canadian $20 as a donation to the iBashers Fund. Here we go. Here we go again on my own. Everyone should check that they're still subscribed. Upvote all the like you know alone. Consider being a Patreon and being an inspiration in somebody's life. Be kind, and it might be hard at times, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. It's not worth it to be a... Oh, why do that? Let's start out like we do every show. Practically every show. Almost every show. Super Chat Gong! Thank you, dearest Andrew. Andrew Wolkowicz says, it's not easy being me, but somebody has to be. And thank God it is. Proust in Stuttgart. Good day, everyone. Great to see you. Kevin Landon's in the room. Number 3 today. Greetings to Dirk, Oisin, and all the Bashers. Have to work today so I can make a down payment on my $100,000 watch or fountain pen. There's another fly in it. It's like fly season. Take care, stay safe, and be good to yourself. I don't even remember. I just know that they have a song called that, right? Be good to yourself. It's like probably 1,000 octaves above that because it's us. Vasilius Pete from Greece is here. Number 3 in the room. Hey, hey. Ray, do you hear what I hear? The Ray child is here. Melly C, good day, Dirk, and all the Bashers. Happy Friday. The beautiful people. Boom, boom. Melly C, we love you. How's Mark doing? Give us an update on that. There's a fly in here, and like Paul was here, he'd kill it, but he's not. Dean, I had to send back. Oh no, I had to send back my $100,000 Trump tourbillon today. On the dial, it read dump. Oh, that's a shame. I believe it was a fake. Thank you, Roman Sharf. Get the spelling right. You know that's going to come out to be true. I'm sure we're going to talk about it when the big guy gets in the room. I'm sure we're going to talk about what we think it is. I mean, silly gooses. Glenn Parker, happy Friday to one and all. Glenn Parker is the place to be. Franco Fiore, get a drink, but first take a second to upvote. So thanks. Hey man, Franco Fiore, grazie mille. Hey, Angelo Minichello is here. How are you, Angelo? Great to see you. Got my Cybertruck. You know what I have in my Cybertruck today? I have Kitty in a Cybertruck. Oh, yes. I have her in the flatbed. I thought she'd probably like to take a ride. Kevin Hawthorne's here, everybody. A great barometer for how we should all lead our lives. Helping people, paying it forward. Thank you, Kevin Hawthorne. And Billy G's in the house. Good evening, folks. Mart is here. Happy Friday, Dirk. I'm just coming over from Machine's channel, which clashes. I know, but it's only for, a couple of minutes or so. Sometimes he if he has guests. Does he have guests right now? Should I go look to see if he's got guests over there? That's usually what happens. It's usually what happens. He's on there. Let me see what he's doing on there. No, he's just on there by himself. So I will just mute that. And so I'll know when he's coming around. Happy Friday to you, beautiful Mark. Great to see you. I don't know what's going on, man. Is there people having a hard time connecting tonight? This is really weird. 4 people in the room. Wow. Not good. Ray. Okay, here now himself, still trying to save the world. You can save the world, Ray, just by being you. Mart, I think I know what Angelo Minichello's. Oh, you do? Well, why don't you say it, Mart, if you know what it is? Because we said let's do trivia and see if that works out. Maybe I'll get mine. I can offer a ride with the Coyotes. Did you see the Tommy Lee thing? I didn't show it yesterday, but it was really horrific. Tommy Lee from Motley Crue, he lives like on the top of the Hollywood Hills somewhere, and there's like video footage of his dogs by the pool, and out of nowhere, this coyote just comes and grabs one of them and takes off. And you see Tommy Lee's wife go bananas, and she runs after. It turns out that the coyote was trying to get over the wall with the dog, but the dog was too fat, so it dropped the dog, but not while she was holding on to the back of the coyote. That's pretty brave. I gotta say, I'd probably do the exact same thing. Mart says, great Grand Seiko spring drive. I think you're probably wrong, because he did not even tell me. And we converse. I talk to Angelo. Hey Angelo, what's up? It's Dirk. We do that. But he has not even told me. Not even told me at all. So I don't know. Nathaniel Hunt with $9.99 sausages. Oh man, I don't think I've laughed so hard in my entire life. On a plane from Fort Lauderdale to Boston, rather bouncy. If I can read the weather correctly, it looks like it went up the Gulf and hit like the Panhandle and started going up. So Fort Lauderdale, if you guys stay off the coast, you should be just fine, right? For those of you who are not in the États-Unis, you will know that we have a very bad Category 4 hurricane. It is hurricane season. They come up generally from the Caribbean, and then they gain strength by being over the water. You all know how hurricanes work. And this one was just a tropical storm, and then it just gathered steam, and it's heading its way up. Looks like it's going to crash into, I guess, in between Florida and Louisiana, and then make its way up. And then once it hits landfall, hurricanes, it's not like a tornado. They just kind of drop dead after an hour or two, because they don't have any water to propel them. It's like their fuel. So it's a very interesting way that works. Angela says, Mart, sorry, no prize. I was pretty sure it wasn't that. You got to know who Angelo is. Angelo is, he doesn't take stuff off the shelf. Even though I love a Grand Seiko, sure. Spring drive, sure. That's not the way that guy's brain works. That guy's brain works by hunting down and finding out things that people don't own. Very small production, if not one of a kind things. His house is like a museum. It's curated. I use that word all the time to describe a guy like Angelo, because his stuff is curated. He's just that kind of guy. I'm sorry, Nathaniel. I forgot to give you a big bang boom, and I totally get it. Let's go, Super Chat Husband. And there you go. Thank you, buddy boy. You're on the plane right now. Are you on the JetBlue or the Delta? I love a man who gets Wi-Fi on a plane. I do, because generally when I'm on a plane, well, not anymore. I used to fly over the pond for gratis, and then I would have to book my flights, and I'd always book them last minute, because I'd always save a lot of money. And it was usually on Alitalia, but that doesn't exist anymore. Now they have this new airline called ITA, which is extremely expensive for some crazy reason. I guess they charge people a lot of money so they don't go into bankruptcy like their predecessor did 50,000 times in a row. But I can't imagine them people paying that when you could get a comparable flight on any other airline for like less than half the price. I'm new to this paying for major airfare. I mean, I've paid for 1 million flights over in Europe, hoppers, Ireland to Italy, or, blah, 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 little hoppers. But going over the pond, spoiled little princess always got free airfare because of daddy. But, now that daddy's gone, it's kind of done. I'm on JetBlue. No direct Delta flights, which hurts deeply for a diamond medallion. Yeah. JetBlue's better, though, isn't it? I know people are very loyal to Delta, but isn't JetBlue? I've only been on JetBlue, well, 4 times technically. 2 and back from Vermont, and then back and forth from San Diego. My Vermont flight shouldn't count because I think it was like 26 minutes. It was a joke. But we ran out of gas on the way to San Diego, and we had to stop in Las Vegas. And then on the way home, we were in some kind of maelstrom weather event, and we were circling. And I was like, looking at Flight Radar 24, and we were 700 feet above the ground while we were circling. I was like, are they out of their minds? That's the closest. I don't have any fear of flying or any of that. That does not exist for me. It just doesn't. I did have a weird kind of fear of flying for like a year or two in my 20s. I don't know where it came from because I've been flying my whole life. It's not an issue. But I was like, oh shit, we're gonna ditch into the ocean. So now I'm just joining, using a card to gain points, Avios points. I have JetBlue miles, but they're a joke because I don't, I'm going to have to start paying for flights. So I got this new PayPal card, which like every dollar you spend, it goes to points that you could transfer over to an airline. And I'm kind of betting the farm on that so I can get back to being a real person and not paying exorbitant amounts of money for flights and winding up in the back of the bus. My mission is, I have a lot of missions. Obviously, by the way, this is day 5 of keto. Day 5. I saw me doing this the other day, and I look like some kind of kook when I'm polishing my glasses. I'm like this. I do it like this. Ooh, like you weirdo. I had my glasses tightened today at the ophthalmologist, and I think that they're off balance. They look crazy on me. They make me look cuckoo. So what was I saying? Oh my God, I don't remember. So I'm doing this JetBlue thing. So I'm gonna have to start paying for flights because I never did in my life. If you, like I've said this before, if you have anybody who's looking for a job in your family or somebody you're close to, tell them to get a job with an airline so you can fly for free for your entire life. It's the greatest thing. Nathaniel says, this A20 is old and rattly and scary with no in-flight entertainment and jerky Wi-Fi. No, this is not better than Delta. Well, it's not better than Delta because you're platinum, diamond, elite, superior. And they put you in the front of the bus all the time. Delta has the oldest fleet in the industry, in case you didn't know that. The oldest fleet in the industry. They are working on that. They're getting a lot of Airbus A350 since Boeing went in the shitter. It used to be, if it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. That was what everybody said back in the day. If it ain't Boeing, I ain't going. And now it's just everybody's going to Airbus. That A350 came out 5-6 years ago, maybe more, 7 years ago, and it was an instant failure. Nobody was buying it. Everybody was buying the Dreamliner, and then the Dreamliner started blowing out doors and all kinds of crazy stuff. Then they had the 737 with all of that nonsense. The MAX, remember that? Boeing has just to bed 50 times in a row. They just keep, I think if Boeing goes at this rate, I think it's going to be the end of them. Listen, they swallowed up McDonnell Douglas, and their logo, that great little NASA looking logo, that's a combination of Boeing and McDonnell Douglas's logos. It could be the end. It could spell the end for them. It really could. Steve Mack says, hey Dirk, congratulations on day 5 of keto. Thanks, man. Yeah, dude, it's just thanks so much. I'm in the cool zone now. First couple of days I was like, I want something crunchy. Then I found those little Parmesan snack crackers. They're just like if you put Parmesan or Grana Padano in the oven and you toasted it, it would just turn and let it sit. It would get hard and then boom, boom. So that worked. And yeah, now I'm in the I don't really care zone. I'll tell you what I just spent the last couple hours making. I made, and it was intensive. I made my own eggplant rollatini because that's totally keto. You just wreck really, really, and I did pictorials. I sent them to Carolyn because she's also veg. And so I made the eggplant rollatini the classic way. Americans like to put breadcrumbs in their eggplant rollatini, which is disastrous. Makes it a very fattening meal, very high in carbohydrates. Beautiful eggplant rollatini. You don't need anything. All you got to do is paper thin slice eggplant and just put it in the oven until it gets nice and soft. And then in a bowl, you take Parmigiano, mozzarella, and ricotta with 1 egg, salt and pepper. Make that all nice. You put some basil in there, then roll it all up, and then pour marinara and mozzarella on the top, and you're done. And it's a beautiful thing. And it has no carbohydrates, like very, very low, because it's eggplant. Drew B says, did somebody say double platinum? Woo! Drew, I'll never forget when I was a little boy. I remember double platinum. The new album from Kiss, featuring Strutter 78. I was like, oh my God, Strutter 78. And that was like right, I don't know, when did I become a Kiss fan? In 1976. My sister gave me a Kiss record and I lost my marbles. She took me to see them December 14th, 1977 at Madison Square Garden, people. Woo, people. Owie. I was talking to somebody backstage before. And they said, there's a lot of people out there that like to drink vodka and orange juice. Oh boy, inside joke, but he gets it. Panel Power heading over from Machines Mad Chats. He's just finishing up now and directing everyone over to you. Why, thanks, Oisin. Thank you so much. Look at him mopping up with super chats. I see that right now. Oh, he's buying the drinks then. Look out, Oisin. Eddie says on his channel, he goes, please do not end Who Needs a Drink. Eddie a couple of weeks ago did a $400 super chat. It was mental. Gallery, who's the basher of the day, a couple of days ago, my doctor said to me today that a little carb in the diet would not hurt. Well, sure, but I'm on a mission to lose 25 pounds. I've had it, dude. Gallery, I've had it. Classic Dirk is 150 pounds, and that's because I'm 5'8". And and I'm kind of like a little bit of a kind of a fire plug. So if I gain a couple of pounds, it makes me look like the Pillsbury Doughboy. And my clothes, I went to put on a dress shirt, and I started buttoning it, and it wouldn't button. And I was like, all right, that was it. Because I wear polos every day. I'm a polo kind of guy, and and I'm wearing 34 waist pants. I'm like, oh, how did that happen? Oh, man. So I'm on the keto for probably a month, and I'll probably drop it. I'll probably drop more than 25. If I can hit 30, I'd be great. I'd like to go a little bit under, so I got a little bit of wiggle room. I would absolutely love it. Mart says, I remember when the biggest and the best passenger plane was the Boeing 747. You're preaching to the choir, my friend Mart. I'll tell you why. Because when my dad was with American Airlines, when I was a little boy, American Airlines had a whole fleet of 747-100s. And we used to fly them coast to coast. And then they got rid of them in like the early 80s or something like that. Look who's here. It's, ladies and gentlemen, the incomparable Oisin Omalley.
What's up, man? How's it going?
Mart, I remember when the biggest and the best plane in the world was the Boeing 747.
Oh, the 400.
No, the one back in the day. 100s, 200, 300, 400, and then now we've got the Dash 8.
I know, but isn't the 400 the queen?
No, the 100 is the queen.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was the 400.
Well, they're all the queen. Listen, the 747 in general is the queen of the skies. Every pilot in the world. You had analog instruments for the 100 and the 200.
When was the 747 introduced? The 100. When was that introduced?
1970.
I would have said 67, 66.
Well, it was already in the planning stages by that time. And they had did all the test flights in 69. But it launched in 1970. And then
it went live.
It went live, people. And it that was the one with just the without the big hump on the top. It just had the nice kind of like a big boob on the top with the 3 windows. It's the most beautiful, the sleekest, because then they extended it, and then they kept extending it.
Well, the 8 is ridiculous because it's huge,
like almost a double
bell
decker.
end.
Yeah, it's crazy. And also the 100s and the 200s, they had the spiral staircase.
They're the ones with the staircase.
Yeah, 100s and 200s have spiral staircases. Yeah. Then they went to the straight thing for the 300s and beyond. And,
my favorite scene ever in a movie on a plane?
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Which one?
Midnight Run.
Yeah. How did you get that?
Because it's the best ever.
These things go down. These things
Charles
go
Grodin,
down.
He has a panic attack.
He has a panic attack, but it's all feigned.
It's all feigned because he was genius.
He should have won. Come fly with me.
I know.
Fly, let's fly away. It's great. It's great to see De Niro in comedy. It's so funny.
Yeah, I think Charles Grodin should have won an Academy Award for that movie because he was brilliant in it. And now he's gone.
Now he's gone.
Now he's gone. You know, all these great actors. You look at the people that win awards and you go, yeah, I wonder what that's about. Some of them deserve it, like your guy.
Jim Patterson. What's your problem with the Chicago Police Department? That's from that movie.
Oh, yeah.
He keeps saying, are you going to tell me what the problem is in the police department?
Oh my God. It's one of the funniest movies. As Martin Ritt directed
Moscow
that, right?
Bail Bonds. Moscow Bail Bonds.
Such a great movie. If anybody's never seen Midnight Run, you
I'm
need
going
to
to get some donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Because his assistant guy is like a spy for the fucking. He's calling the mob. He's like, "Oh, we should celebrate. I'm going to get some donuts." And as on his way to the donuts shop, he stops and makes the call. That's what gives away a lot of the stuff. Yeah, it's so funny.
It's one of the best movies ever. Chris on the Upper East Side. Hey, buddy. Panel Power says, I prefer fullness. So I was talking about, you know, I'm on day 5 of keto. So just keep. Yeah, I'm on day 5.
You know, I was going to say, should I say anything?
What?
I was going to say how fucking healthy you look the past few days.
Oh, really?
I mean, maybe it doesn't have that fast an effect, but man, I don't know.
I have a lot of energy.
Whatever it is, it's there. It's there. It's all here.
It's no loaves of bread.
It's
no pasta.
Yeah, because you're not a drinker or anything.
No, but I'll tell you what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do an experiment today because it's Friday, so I want to have a drink. Sure. I was like, the only way I could really do this, and I looked it up, and it's like,
I thought you can drink on
you
keto.
Can, but they say wine because it comes from grapes, blah blah blah. So I was like, what could I drink that's in the house? And I was like, you know what? I'll just be really, really cautious. I'm going to make like gin and sodas with a lemon because I have gin in the house, and I know gin makes me an asshole, but I'll make sure it doesn't happen. Okay. But I'm just gonna make like light, refreshing little gin cocktails. I just hope I don't pick a fight.
Well, the way it goes with getting aggressive on booze, because that'll happen with gin or with vodka, is if you talk about happy things, you just get happier. If you talk about things that make you mad, you'll get madder than you would have.
Right.
So as long as we stay on nice things like furry cats and nice fun stuff, and you're on the gin, you'll keep smiling. As long as I don't say anything that or somebody doesn't say anything that
fuck you.
Yeah, exactly.
My sister Carrie says, "Oh, the fun we had on the 100. We lived on my entire childhood was on the American Airlines 100s. They had a piano lounge in coach in the back with a guy with a little Wurlitzer piano." And people were like standing around smoking and drinking.
Different times, man.
It was unbelievable. Now everybody's Karen.
That's because flights, it was Andrew Tate or the other guy, Tristan. He said the problem, people always reminisce about how flights, how they were. It's because flights were for the rich. I mean, you guys, you had your inn, so you may as well have been rich. But flights were for the rich. That's why they had lobster and a piano and a bar on flights, because it was for the
Caviar
rich. Now every shithead can get on a flight for $6.
I know.
You know, Ryanair. That's why.
Ryanair. Carolyn Martin with $19.99. I'm happy you're taking care of yourself. If you don't feel good at your weight, do something about it. And that's what I decided to do. I was telling them the impetus was, I knew that I was a fat pig, but I went to put on you know what it is? I was getting very, very busty. And I went to put on a dress shirt that I've worn, like one of my go-tos, and it was tight. And I went, oh no. No. It's like my go-to if I'm going out to dinner or something. It's this beautiful pale, dark blue. It's very, very nice.
And it was tight. It was uncomfortable.
Tight. It wasn't uncomfortable. It was tight. I couldn't even I was about to bust out of it. Yeah.
Oh, the button. Yeah, I know that feeling. I hate that feeling.
I was like, that's got to go. Thank you, Carolyn Martin. Let's give you something sweet for that. Let's give you Super Chat Woman, Gong Woman 1. Namaste. Doesn't that make you all feel? Take a deep breathe. Pranayama breathing in, out. Yoga, sometimes when I would get out of the yoga room, I would just look at people and go, I want to fucking punch you in the face. Sometimes it would do the opposite effect. You'd walk out of there and you'd be riled up because it would change your chemistry. And it was really, really crazy. And the reason we were talking about planes is because Nathaniel Hannon is on his way up from Florida. And he was just saying he's on a shitty JetBlue flight, etc.
No, they're not that bad. I don't mind JetBlue.
No, I mean,
They're not Ryanair.
They're not Ryanair.
They're way
Best
better.
joke ever is on Catastrophe when the Irish mother says the father has a heart attack, and they're like, I heard that right before I smelled strawberries, and they said right before you have a heart attack you smelled strawberries, and then the mother goes, fresh fruit on Ryanair, like that'll never happen.
Oh my god.
Angelo Minikella says Boeing $3 billion and counting for spacesuits that don't work, and they strand people on the ISS, and SpaceX has to bail them out. We're just talking about the downfall of how everybody's buying the Airbus A350 right now. It is the du jour
I think
plane.
you missed Nathaniel's one.
No,
you missed Nathaniel's. Oh, you didn't. Okay.
No. His rap. No, I got
the lady.
He's the one. He started the ball rolling.
That one.
That one I didn't get. In order of the lady with the wrench. Aw. You should get, let's go, little cowbell. Thanks, Nathaniel. Yeah, we were talking about the whole Boeing thing, and it's like, do you know, you and I always used to like be obsessed with like, oh my God, there's a new model of plane coming out.
I don't know if I was upset. You're way more into it than I am, but I love that shit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you been following the disaster that is the 777X? That's the one that's got the folding wingtips.
Oh no.
So this thing's been kicking around for 10 years, and it just keeps failing everything it does.
Okay.
Like I don't ever. The 777 is one of the biggest selling planes in history. Like all they had to do was upgrade it. What the hell is wrong with them? What are they doing? What is going on?
Let me ask you something that's way more general. Okay. How much do you think people give a shit about the equipment they're on? We care, right? The minute I book a flight, I want to know what equipment I'm flying. Okay. Sure. But how much do you think people give a shit if they step off the A380 and you go, oh my God, you were on an A380. How was it? How much do you think people go, whatever, it was a plane, I didn't give a shit? Or do you think
I know it was because everyone's I always go, because everybody texts me when they get on a plane because they know I'm going to track their flight and all that shit. And because I was my family's travel agent for fucking 30 years. So whenever anybody in my family had to get on a flight, I would handle it, and I'd be like, oh shit, you got the 777-300. And my sister would be like, what? She couldn't care less about that stuff.
Just get me there. Give me a glass of champagne and get me there. Yeah.
Right.
I'll be back in a second. I need to blow my nose because I still have sniffles.
Angelo Minichello, Canadian 20 balloons. I saw the very first Pan Am 747 at O'Hare while waiting for a connecting flight in 1970. Pan Am. Who would believe that could go under, Angelo? It's in Blade Runner. We had the Pan Am building, which I will forever call the Pan Am building. I'm never going to call that the MetLife building because that's going to go out the window too. That's going to go out the window. It's absolutely insane. Le Carré says, gin and Diddy talk. Yeah, baby. Oh, it's cold gin time again. You know it'll always win. Jim Patterson, bring back the Concorde. Oh, what a shame. Listen, I will say this. Are you watching the whole boom aviation? There is a new supersonic plane coming your way. American Airlines has ordered something like 30. United has ordered 30. British Airways has ordered. It's a boom supersonic. It holds 100 people or 90 people. It's being manufactured in West Virginia, somewhere in the middle, in the not the deep south, but the barely south. And they just got their certifications for their new engine system, which is called Overture. Very exciting times. That there's going to be more supersonic, and it's going to be, of course, just over the ocean, and that's it. Because of sonic boom. Because there's no way to cure sonic boom. There's just no way in the world to do that. And it's just no way, Angelo. But no, I knew you were an aviation geek. Of course you were. Let's. That's a big one. Let's go. Mega check. Oh my God, Easy E with the big gigantic $50 super chat. Thanks for the support of the channel. Who's making I found out who makes the bash go round. Saw two Harrier jump jets at Coney Island Beach with me grandfather many years ago. They hovered for a few hundred feet from the beach, then took off at 45 degrees. They were so loud and deafening, but exhilarating. Drinking Paso Robles, you guys. Okay. Wow, Harriers. I saw one once too. They magnificent things. I mean, that's 50s technology, which is really crazy. The other night we were Paul and I were watching Midway, the old movie with, Henry Fonda and Robert Mitchum and everybody else and their mothers in that movie. And we're like watching World War II, while we're, fighting the Japs, Imagine we used to say that. And horrific. And propeller planes. All those planes were propelled. We didn't even have jets yet. It's insane, the firepower. We had a nuclear weapon before we had operative jets, which I thought was insane. It was insane.
Oh, you got a massive super chat there. Fuck.
Massive from Easy. Ow. Ow.
Wow. Did you give him a bomb?
Not yet, because he's talking about Harrier jets. You ever see one of those in person? They're sick.
The Harriers, of course.
Yeah, they're freaking amazing. But it's really antiquated technology.
They're the ones that just take they take off like that and then they
hit an angle.
There's a new version of that now.
Yeah, and it looks like this. It looks like this. Ready? Yeah. It almost looks like alien spacecraft. But I was just telling them how, it's crazy when we're watching that Midway. Remember, that old movie with like Henry Fonda, everybody and their mother's in it. It's about the Battle of Midway. And we're doing all this, fighting, and it's all propeller planes. Yet, like a year later, we nuked Japan. We had operative nuclear weapons before we had operative jet engines.
Well, the Enola Gay was not a jet engine.
No.
No. They had to really put the pedal to the metal
on that. I mean, these are all ridiculous. Putt-putts up there, and they're just all the tail gunners. It was just suicide missions. Those things.
You want to give him a explosion for that, because that's too big on the screen. I can't look at it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Angelo says, just heard about the new Concorde. It does have a sonic boom, though. You can go look it up. It's called Boom. And I am watching it like a hawk, Angelo, and it's right up your street. Holds 90 passengers, and they've got a website. They were just certified. They have this engine manufacturer. They're going. Like I said, American Airlines ordered like 35. United ordered 35. It's a real thing. And it's not going to go to Mach 2 like the Concorde did. It's going to go.
My next question.
Yeah, I knew where you wanted to go. 1.75 it's going to go to.
That's fine. I'm fine with 1.75.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And it does have a sonic boom. I don't know. It's like you have to look at the principles of physics, right? Like Einstein says you can't go faster than the speed of light. Now, how could we get rid of sonic booms? Is there a way to do that? I don't know.
Because the noise because all of the waves, all of the sonic waves get pushed together. That's what a boom is.
Boom. Yeah.
Is he saying that the thing is silent completely?
No, that's what he just heard. Yeah, but it does. The new Boom Supersonic, it's called. Google it. There's a website. You could see the engines and how they're building it. Have you seen that? You've seen that, Ush, haven't you?
Oh, I haven't heard much about it. I haven't been following that much.
Man, I don't want to bore people, but
you might bore people. We're supposed to talk about.
You can talk about anything you want.
We're supposed to talk about the Trump watch and where we think it really came from.
Roman Sharp. Here it is. I'll just show you real quick, so you know what this is. I think you'll enjoy this. That's the engine that they came up with, and it doesn't have afterburners. So let me go over here and go read more.
That's got to be a sexy plane to fly. Oh, that's what it looks like?
Yeah. That's it. It's great looking, right? It looks like the Concorde, but without the afterburners. It just has...
Well, it looks like there are no flaps like the Concorde.
Right.
That the whole thing turns into a flap by the head bowing.
That is exactly probably true.
Right.
So, yeah, you can go here. You can read about all the avionics, all the guys that fully tested. They did a test flight already that was very successful. It's very, if you're into aviation and all that stuff, it's a night of aviation porn for you, and there's lots of things you can watch on YouTube. It's great. Let's make sure. Okay, who else we got here? Danny Gutierrez with $4.99. Have you guys watched the Menendez Brothers series on Netflix? I watched 2 episodes.
It's the one about the guys who killed their mom
and their father. Yeah,
I have not watched it.
It's rough, man, because those are 2 of the biggest pieces of shit on the face of God's.
They're wealthy kids who killed their parents, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And I don't care how messed up they were in their head. They killed their mother. $4.99. Let's go, Cowbell.
I always find it odd. I'll never forget an ex. She had a really bad relationship with her father, and she would. I discovered at first I'd like things were tough, but the day will come where you'll forgive him or whatever. He didn't sexually abuse her or anything like that. It was just kind of mental torment and things like that. And I realized that she was waiting for the day for him to pass away. She was waiting, and I was like, you know what? I don't like that. Because no matter how fucked up a parent could be or whatever, that day where they pass away is when you miss them or whatever, or you look back at the good things, or that you try to remember some good memory. There was nothing in her head, and she was just sitting waiting for him to drop dead. Isn't that terrible? So you just I know that's very macabre, but you just mentioned these guys killed their parents. I mean, that's about as foreign a thought as I could possibly have. But some parents are just evil, man.
Sure. I mean, their parents weren't. Their mother was just an entitled witch, and their father pushed them to be, big, strong boys. There was but they later said that, later on they said that he sexually molested both of the boys, and, they tried to get off. And
guys, don't hit Dirk with questions about fucking aircraft and airports and stuff, because he can't stop it. He'll go off. We'll be here in 3 hours still talking about it, so just shut it down now.
I didn't say anything. Well, look, Nathaniel Hannon with a 4, unless it's the super chat. Most awkward moment of my life was explaining what the Enola Gay was to a group of Japanese tourists at the Udvar Hazy Museum. Well, Jesus Christ, I can't even. God, what I'd like to know is, what do the Japanese teach in their schools?
Yeah,
about World War II.
About August, what was it, 24th, right?
About Hiroshima.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact date. Oh, I'm sure they do.
17
Hiroshima.
I remember.
I'll tell you right now. Like, for example, listen, they were. It's amazing to me when we think about the Japanese now. We think about how that incredible culture and how peaceful.
I have a feeling one day they'll turn around
and just flip the switch.
And be like, hey, we were just preparing, like Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men. When he gets shot in the leg, he gets all the stuff he needs to repair. He goes to a motel room, books it probably for 3 weeks, does the repair, shoots himself up in the leg, takes all the shrapnel out of his leg, stitches himself up.
I remember that.
Then shoots himself in the leg with some sort of drug to pass out, and then passes out on the bed. He's gone into hibernation until further notice.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very smart scene, because everyone needs that in their life at some point to do with anything. Like if you get an ugly divorce or something, you need to go off and repair. Don't interact with anyone. Just heal that wound and go off and hide away from the world until you're now healthy again. You can come back out. It's just like going to hospital and get an operation, right? But I always feel like people always say, oh, we have such a good relationship with Japan these days. I'm like, I don't know. The history of the world isn't over yet. Okay, it's to be continued, guys. They may be rebuilding slowly, and then one day turn around and go, you know what? Fuck you guys too.
They weren't allowed to build an army for that entire time, and now they're remilitarizing. Now,
Hitler did it illegally. Yeah,
What? Right.
he was told they couldn't do it. And he built the entire
Right.
Luftwaffe under
Ta-da!
under tents. He built 3,500 planes under tents.
That was the thing, and I'm gonna just jump really quick
Couldn't
over
happen.
to just the Mehdi Hazan thing the other day, where Piers Morgan could not let go of. You said he was Hitler. You said he was a new Hitler, and he never said that. And he was trying to tell Piers Morgan that he never said that. He goes, "No, but J.D. Vance did."
JD Vance actually did.
Actually said that.
Actually did.
When it comes to the Japanese, like, everybody, you're big in Japan, Cheap Trick at Budokan, everybody's got their famous, everybody goes to Japan, you get mobbed, all the girls. It's the most beautiful, literally the most beautiful culture in the world. You go there and have sake, and there's geishas.
They're super advanced.
Super
You know
advanced.
what? I saw a meme recently or something on TikTok or something. Somebody saying, no, Japan doesn't live in the future. You just live in America. And what it was is that a lot of American stuff is old fashioned. You're still hanging on to 1970s shit. And it's just like other places in the world have moved forward. That's why Japan has hyperspeed trains and all sorts of cool shit.
Oh, their technology is incredible.
It happens a little bit with Americans, which is an oxymoron to me because I feel like America's so, first world and so wealthy. But, texting came finally to America back in the noughties.
Mhm.
Like, you guys were way behind that shit. I have a friend in the US military who was living here, and he said he was cheating on his wife. And he said it was funny because when I went back to America, cheating got way harder. The Italians were really ahead of time because they were texting their girlfriends sitting right next to their wives. And he goes, we weren't doing that shit in the States. That was an interesting observation to me.
Wow.
Yeah. And another thing I noticed when I first moved to New York was in the diners, all the glasses and cups were all old. They looked like they'd been sitting around since the 70s. I loved it. I loved the charm of it. But I was like, why does everything look like it's from the 70s still being used? So it's an odd. I'm not coming to any conclusion. I'm just saying, isn't that an interesting picture to paint? That you guys are still in Norman Rockwell times somehow, and Japan is in the future.
Blade Runner.
Blade Runner. Japan is Blade Runner.
Yeah. Hey, Doc Locke, I'm just a little curious by this comment. I'm not quite sure what you mean by it. If you could expound upon it. Come on, guys, go to Japan and experience their current mentality about aggression before mouthing off. I don't think anybody's mouthing off here. I think we're kind of praising them, if anything, for especially what they had to overcome. Because who dropped the only bombs in the whole wide world? Yay, we did.
Twice.
But they were an incredibly savage and ruthless group of folks back in those days. I mean, to think that this and then this
we saw what they did with the Catholic Church.
Oh man.
Well, they weren't having any of that crap.
None of that crap.
Yeah, the Vatican was sending people out. They converted us in Ireland. They converted everybody, and the Japanese were like, "No, you're not fucking doing. We're gonna drown your ass slowly."
Yeah, it was, and then the whole Harry Carey thing. Like they would just go in there and zoom kill everybody just to get the job done, kill themselves. But we're watching Midway the other day, and I was looking, and I was sitting there. It wasn't that late at night. I was talking to Paul about it, and I said something, and he shut me down in 2 seconds. I would have been so shut down on TV if it was being televised. And it was, I was like, imagine that tiny little island thinking they could take Taiwan and China and the United States. And then he looks at me and he goes, that tiny little island, England.
Right. Size of a country doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. It's ingenuity, manufacturing. Yeah, of course.
Look at Israel. A lot of people say that, oh, they're such a small country. And I'm like, yeah, Bill Gates is a short guy. I'm 6 foot. Bill Gates is like 5'2". Who's the most powerful person in the world? Who's the most dangerous person in the room? If I'm at a party and Bill Gates is at it, he's 5'3" and I'm 6 foot. But I ain't 6 foot in real terms next to Bill Gates. He could have me murdered without a trace.
No one would ever know you were murdered. No one would know you were dead.
Of course not. We're 190 billion.
You hurt from a machine.
The size of a country has nothing. A lot of people say, oh, the Iran and all of these, and Israel is so small. It's like, yeah, but it's armed to the teeth and has billions. It's the Bill Gates in the room, for fuck's sake. I don't want to bring it over to the Middle East.
No.
No.
But you know what Bill Gates would do? He would have you like online and texting and writing things. He'd have all your technology out there for like a month or so. So like there'd be a month gap between the time you were dead.
There's like a paper trail of
Yeah,
me.
he'd have you texting people. He'd have you doing Who Needs a Drink AI
Yeah.
version.
You'd have an AI who needs a drink.
Yeah,
Look,
he
he's
would.
still there. He's right there. I
Yeah,
was in Malibu. Like, what are
yeah.
you
I
talking
don't know
about?
why he's not returning your calls.
You're so right.
He would totally be doing that. Eddie says, Dirk, you son of a bitch. How the hell are you? How the hell are you, Eddie? $2.
You know what, Eddie? Bring your super chats, baby. Let's go, man.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I hope you appreciate it, Eddie. I didn't side with you, but I kind of sided with you tonight on Who Needs a Drink for your comment last week, calling my friend a piece of shit.
Did he call?
No, he called John a piece of shit. I didn't side with that. I don't like that. It's my friend. But I sided with his point about the linguistics and the way things, the language, the American military kind of tech language. I made a whole thing. I did a whole spiel about it, whatever. But it was kind of funny. It was in jest. It was a lot of fun. So I hope Eddie appreciated it.
You know, I'll just say to that. I'll just say
So lame.
That is so lame.
Oh, I know.
Did I make those?
Yeah, of course you did. I didn't make
God.
the only thing I recently added is I'll show you what I added. It's the gayest thing that anybody could have added to it. Yay.
How did you do that?
How about this one? Happy birthday to you.
No, but seriously, how
Here's my
is
favorite.
that built into? Oh, look at that! Is that built into StreamYard?
No, but it was on their website and you could download it, so I did.
Oh, this is great. See, this is teamwork, man. This is what I like having a counterpart cohort.
Yeah. So you can do I've got stars, I've got balloons,
I
I
love
got
this.
confetti burst, which I love this. Yay! Anybody who gets the biggest, that's
Okay,
that's
well, why
the
don't?
parade super chat.
Oh, well, I was about to suggest the opposite.
What?
When it doesn't require stopping the show,
It
maybe
doesn't.
that's, if it's $1 or $2, that's nice. We can keep going.
Okay.
Whereas a bigger one is like, stop the show. Let's look at this nuclear explosion or whatever. That was my suggestion. But you can ignore that.
No, that's cool. Dirk Stream is now a cartoon show. It could be. Panel power, you're on fire today. Ireland destroyed the Brits. Well, some of them. Everyone can be like Ireland.
Well, we kicked them out to a certain degree. It was tough
Definitely.
though.
And then up Sligo.
Jesus, I feel like part 2 of that shit is coming now because of Kneecap and all of those guys.
Christ.
Chucky Arlaw, get the Brits out now. All of that. I mean, it's a big movement. And it's getting tied in with the pro-Palestine movement. But it's, I can't help myself. But no, it's getting tied in. And I feel like the fucking Irish are about to, or the North, the people from West Belfast are about to fucking revolt again.
I thought it was going to happen because of Brexit. I thought they were just going to say, because, now I heard they're building,
No, they made a lot of money. The Northern Ireland prospered out of Brexit because
they did.
Because they figured out a way of staying in business relationship with the UK and with Europe. So they got their cake and they could eat it.
How did they do that?
I know, isn't it freaking crazy? It's something Accords, whatever they're called. I think it's the Northern Ireland Accords or something like that, the Belfast Accords or something, where they're able to do business with everyone. That's why. That's the secret. And I'm going to make a proper documentary about this someday with music and everything and narration. That's the reason why Paul Thorpe and Spencer Dreyer sided with Nico, or wouldn't make an enemy of Nico when all that shit hit the fan, because Nico was offering an option to ship through Northern Ireland because of Brexit. And I knew when Brexit happened, I knew that the Irish, including me, would pay somehow for what the Brits were up to, because that's the fucking story of our lives, right? It's like, just let us know what the damage is. We'll be here having a Guinness, all right? I'll see you in a while. Let us know what the damage is. It came onto my doorstep because they never liked that fucker. But then they had a meeting with him. I have the whole thing mapped out on the timeline. They had a meeting with him, and at that meeting, he told them that because now they couldn't ship to Europe without tariffs, that he could do it through Northern Ireland. They could sell the watch to Spain. Somebody in Barcelona buys a watch from London. They ship it to Nico. Nico ships it from there, and there are no tariffs. So you can tell your customer, your potential customer, don't worry about the tariffs. We have that all sorted out. We have an office in Northern Ireland. And that's why they wouldn't go up against the fucker when shit was happening with me, because they were like, we have bigger. It's like Michael Corleone. I have business with Hyman Roth. I don't want it disturbed.
Hyman Roth. I'm an Israeli citizen living in the U.S. on a pension. JHB 1999. Thanks. Hey, JHB. Thanks so much. Let's give you, you know what I'll do? I'll just,
nice.
It's nice. And the $20.
Yeah.
$20 pays the rent, guys. It certainly does. Let's go. We'll go. I want to try something different. Let's do this one.
That was one of the first I ever made.
I love that one because the sound is like, you just, every time I hear that, I want to go. That
was the hardest one to make. You know why?
Why?
Play it again for a second. Yeah. This is why. Because the guy hits it, the original video, the guy hits it, and then he hits it again.
Oh.
And I had to edit it so that's why it zooms in. So he goes out of the frame. And then I had to slow down. I had to take a sample of the earlier video and mesh it in so it looked like it was a continual zoom in on the thing without, because otherwise you would have seen his big, what is it? What's he using? Mallet. Otherwise you would have seen the mallet come back into the frame and it would have made it odd.
All right, we're going to watch it one more time. We're going to watch it one more time just because now we know, what's behind Santa Claus's beard.
You don't even see,
seamless.
You don't see the crop. You don't see the crop.
Seamless.
Well, listen, if I can't do it by now.
Craig says, Trump is a world-class asshole. First class.
He's going to sell those watches.
So you guys all on is there a wait list? Did we find out, or are they already sold out?
That's a very good question. First of all, I don't think the information I got from the chat is that what we're seeing in the video is not the watch.
Oh, it's just a projected.
It's like a mock-up of the watch.
Because they're not ready. Because they just had that conversation a couple months ago when they were doing the sneaker deal.
And that guy, yeah, right. If we assume it's Roman Sharp, which I guess we should. And that watch that we see in the videos is a fake gold, crappy fake gold mock-up version. It's a real video of a real watch. It's not AI, but it's just one of those cheap shit fucking Canal Street watches.
Totally looks it.
It looks like fake gold. You can tell by the texture of it. And they just made a mock-up because it doesn't matter, because the people who are buying it don't know the fucking difference anyway. Yeah. But they will get a real watch. So I expect the real watch is going to look way better than what they're showing us. The interesting thing, myself and Tim Wright were talking earlier about it. So here's an interesting thing, right? We're finally talking about, and there goes Eddie. We'll get to you, Eddie, in a second. Just let me finish this point.
Eddie.
Otherwise, we don't have a conversation. We just have chat, which is okay. So here is the interesting point. Roman loves Trump, right?
He loves him.
The association with Trump, of course, is going to be delicious for him in any way. Yeah. But, he's a big egotist as well, Roman.
Oh.
And this watch just got announced. Now, Roman hasn't, from what I understand, hasn't made a big video about it. He hasn't made a big launch about it. He hasn't talked about his involvement. He hasn't been gloating in any way whatsoever so far. Okay. If it stays this way for the coming weeks and months, myself and Tim Wright find it a little bit curious. Why wouldn't he gloat about his?
Maybe that's the deal they made.
Okay. And here's a second thought. Maybe he pitched it that day when they went for a luncheon in Mar-a-Lago. Trump realized because Trump invited him down because Trump believed the headlines. You remember the headlines? The headlines were Russian oligarch buys Trump shoes. They thought that Roman was a multi-gazillionaire oligarch, Russian oligarch.
He loves oligarchs.
Right. Yes, I'm
He's
coming to the
also-
point. Yeah, actually, Roman is from Ukraine. He's an Ukrainian immigrant. But
Okay.
if Trump thinks, if he reads a headline and he thinks this is a Russian gazillionaire, he invites him down. He discovers pretty quick that Roman, yes, he's a wealthy man, but he ain't no oligarch.
Mhm.
So Roman has a lovely luncheon with him, and it's all very nice. And Roman pitches this watch idea, and he has all these ideas. And Trump says goodbye, shakes hands, and goes, "Oh fuck, I'm never getting 200 million out of him because he's not an oligarch. He's made his money, but I'm, the most he'll ever give me is maybe 100 grand. So fuck that, right?" But then Trump steals the idea.
Oh,
And Roman doesn't hear anything about it. And Roman discovered the day that we discovered that there's a Trump watch. And right now, Roman is punching the wall, going, "Motherfucker stole my idea."
do you think he'd go live about that, or he'd let it go?
Roman doesn't say anything. This is Roman's deck of cards,
Okay, well,
right
yeah.
against his chest,
okay.
always.
Well,
So this is our theory that he pitched the idea. He goes, "Why don't you sell a watch?" Also, earlier, John pointed out, and other people pointed out in my chat, that this is a way to avoid the cap on donations to the Trump campaign. So I have it here, the FEC. So this could be a way of avoiding these problems here. These are FEC regulations to donations you can make to the elections 2023, 2024. These are limits. These are caps right here. And they really are caps. So if you want to give money to Trump without breaking the law or breaking the rules, you can always buy one of his $100,000 watches, can't you? So this could be just a walkabout way. He may not expect any of the general public to buy any of these watches, but he may be in contact with big, heavy donors who say, "Listen, I'd love to give you more money, Donald, but it's breaking the regulations." And he might be like, "Listen, just buy one of my watches and it's all taken care of."
Because it says in the fine print, not affiliated. This watch is not affiliated with any political party. And I did the math for everybody yesterday on my show. If he sells out all the watches that he says, because they're all limited, it's $45 million.
Right.
If he sells all of them. So that's $45 million in the coffers.
So if there's a couple of guys who are like, "Listen, I was ready to give you $1 million, but I can't because of the regulations are going to get you in trouble," he could have been on the phone going, wait, just wait. And those guys will buy 10 watches.
Wow.
And give them to their family.
Donald's so smart.
It's very, very smart. You can get to the super chats now.
It's brilliant. Eddie, Hopitude, bless my soul, $100, 100 balloons. Well, first of all, I always say 100 balloons. I'm going to give you balloons and the big super chat, but I think you should get some balloons. 100 balloons.
That's the Eddie we know and love, man.
Hey, Eddie. Crazy. Look at it. I love that picture. That's Alfred Molina in snorting all that coke in Boogie Nights, right?
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah. You know what's really crazy, Eddie? I watched Boogie Nights this morning. I was like, I'm in the mood to watch that. And Alfred Molina should have got an Academy Award for that. Because this is when when Mark Wahlberg, what's the guy, Tom Jane, they come in there to steal from his safe and they shoot the bodyguard. You know the movie pretty well, right?
Yeah.
And then this guy just comes and just blasts everybody. That movie was insane. I forgot how much I loved it. So, Eddie, thank you so much. Let's give you...
hold on. Read the whole thing, please.
Eddie, last Friday I was driving and I heard Oisin mention he may not keep Who Needs a Drink. He might not keep it going much longer. I almost punched my steering wheel had I not been drinking 80 miles per hour on the freeway. Driving. Don't admit that to anybody. I was heartbroken to hear Oisin say
didn't say drinking. He said driving.
Oh,
you said drinking.
I said drinking. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. I had not been driving 80 miles. Oisin, say that. Please tell Oisin to keep it going. Were you threatening to pull that show?
Well, I just mentioned that it doesn't necessarily do much for the channel, but I realize that it's people's favorite moment of the week and all of that, so that's why I keep it going. But anyway, he's convinced me,
Oh, honey.
You can give him his nuclear explosion.
I'm going to give you his nuclear explosion.
Just one detail I'm very happy about. I was wondering whether the balloons were going to go over the nuclear explosion, which would have been super perverse. You know,
They didn't, right?
no, they didn't.
Yeah.
Thank God.
What you have to do though with this thing is, for example, when you see them in the thing, if you ever want to use them, when you click it on, you also have to click it off, which you don't have to do for the other ones.
Yeah.
You have to turn it off. Travis Watson, $20. Trump may be a first-class asshole, but what about Harris? We don't like her either. America and the worst should hope for better candidates for the most powerful political position in the world. I couldn't agree with you more.
Did you miss Andrew? I'm so happy.
Andrew, I did. I'm sorry, Andrew, darling. I'm so happy to be home and enjoy a nice, easy conversation about politics, religion, and culture. Upvote everyone and make sure you're subscribed. Become an inspiration in Dirk's life and be a Patreon. Aw.
Very nice.
Okay,
very nice.
let me give so let's go. We have this is for you, Andrew, sweetheart. We'll give you Gong. I know you love Gong Woman 3. And for Travis, we're gonna give you we're gonna go back to you Super Chat. It's 20. Oisin and I were talking earlier today about how we've been watching a lot of stuff, and we were kind of just laughing about the slogan "Make America Great Again," because it raises a lot of questions about when were you talking about? Like what part in history? What were you like when everybody says, I have a neighbor she's like, it's MAGA, Make America Great Again. When do people think America was great again?
Well, the first thing I say often to those guys is, I like America. America's great. I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry you don't think it's great. I think it's great.
That's what you said.
It turns their patriotism against, like they're thinking, oh, Trump's a real patriot. No, he's not. He doesn't like America. Oh yeah, he does. He loves it. No, he doesn't. He thinks it needs fixing. It needs to be made great again, which implies that it's not great now, which means he's not a patriot, right? He's against the way it is now.
I like the Mets when they suck.
Logically, guys.
I mean,
all right.
No, but I was watching
this. It's semantic. I'm playing.
It is. No. Of course, I understand what you're doing there. You'd be great in the torture room, like waterboarding people. I was watching this very, very smart guy. I'm not going to say
lawyer. That's what I should have been.
You would have been good at that. Paul would have been the ultimate lawyer because, I don't fight with him ever for any reason in the world because he just starts throwing facts at you, bombarding you with this, and you're just like,
is he like Mehdi Hassan?
He's like that, and I pull the Irish thing. But first, I got out the door, and then the sky was blue, and then like fucking flowery shit, and he's just no conversation, just the facts.
That's a great lawyer.
You don't fight with him. But the crux of that conversation was like, when was America? Technically, America was only really, really great in the 40s and 50s and early 60s, when we had a 90% tax cap on the very rich people. We had the infrastructure. We had all the roads were all paved, and all the building boom, the housing boom, the middle class. Everything was prosperous and beautiful and amazing. And that was everybody was paying.
You didn't have rights for gays.
No. There's that too. Yeah, I mean, you see the black people sat in the back of the bus.
If you're white, you can go.
And the gay guys, got the shit kicked out of them after they had to service the guys in the paddy wagon. You know what I mean? It was like, you've seen all that stuff in those.
America's as great as it's ever been. Now, today, it's a wonderful country. It's a melting pot of the world. It's extremely wealthy still. And it's a wonderful, it's fantastic. How can you compare it to earlier? I mean, America struggled for such a long time, especially with the rights of the blacks and so on. Jesus. And the right to vote for women, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you always make the point that it was more fun years ago to be gay. Because
I'm joking.
Well, I know you're joking about that. Yeah. Now you can be so openly gay around
but it was
most parts of America, but it was,
Just watch that movie with Dennis Quaid and redhead. She's great. She's in everything. Older lady now. It's a movie set in the 50s, and she's the idyllic housewife, and her husband's handsome, and he's a businessman. And she goes to bring him his dinner at the office because he's working late, and he's having sex with some guy in the office. And she's horrified, but this guy's going into these dark, smoky clubs. Everybody's wearing beautiful business suits, and they're all closet cases. And it was like, it was more fun when you had to sneak around, other than I'm a dandelion.
Jim Patterson is from Reagan, and Greg Reagan said that. Listen, Reagan, it's so funny. Have you ever watched like recently clips of Reagan?
Dude, I lived through Ronald Reagan.
I know, like the clips looking back.
Oh yeah, Julianne Moore. That's right. Thank you.
First of all, the best thing, the coolest thing, the funniest thing ever, when he was giving a speech and a balloon exploded, and he goes, "Miss me." Did you ever see that one?
No.
He's like giving a speech somewhere, and there's celebratory balloons everywhere, you know, and one of them blows up, so it goes pop, and he's reading, and he goes, "Miss me," and then he goes back to the, oh my God, it was a brilliant quip. But listen, I grew up, like, for me, Reagan was like Thatcher. It was the end. It was the beginning of the end. It was when the fucking bull was let loose. It was when money went before human rights, etc., etc. But when you look back at Reagan speak now, he seems like the biggest Democrat. He seems like a communist.
Well, completely changed.
He seems like a left winger when you listen to him speak about, in comparison to today. Like, America has gone so right. First of all, Kamala Harris is a brutal, brutal right winger of the extreme form. If you picked up Kamala Harris and dropped her in Europe, she would be a fascist beyond belief, worse than Maloney. And the right in America has just got off the edge. It's just got into weird, like, here's my watch and buy a Bible.
Jesus, and
it's just gone mental. That's where America.
Neither party is what they used to be. They're not based on any of the foundations of which they were built upon.
I'd take Reagan back in a millisecond
compared to everybody else.
Oh yeah. Way more progressive than Kamala. Jesus,
he was the guy, by the way, who dropped the tax rate on the richest people in America down to 30%, and that's what started the ball rolling on the us not having a middle class anymore. That's what started happening. Why our roads? That's what started happening with gasoline. All that shit happened in the 70s.
Find a better price. That's why Made in USA is such a rare thing now.
I know.
Made in USA sad? Used to be a beautiful thing.
It was
Apple.
I love the way you said that.
They tried it. Apple tried to build one of their machines in the USA. Didn't really work. It's all made in China.
I know, China. And everybody's lazy now. And I blame us. I do, because I remember watching this thing with the Detroit automakers, and you know, the unions built America and they destroyed America. And I'm pro-union, don't get me wrong, people. I'm pro hardworking people. I've been a hardworking person. I've always had a job my entire life, except for now. But like, I'm definitely the first guy to put my hands in the dirt. But I watched this thing during the whole Detroit auto crisis, and man, they refused to come to terms with the fact that, like, the economy was down, and we need to just settle this strike. And what did they happen? We started shipping out manufacturing out of this country. People were not willing to work for less. In the 40s, 50s, and 60s, people were willing to work for a little bit less to build it back up so that we could.
You have to fight for the right for those people to be paid properly.
Not
just
yes.
Send the fucking shit over to China. That's not the answer, because they'll do it for cheaper and ship it over. That's not the answer. Made in USA is a beautiful thing. When I see that, one of the great, by the way, anybody watching, Dirk obviously knows this. He doesn't need to hear this. When you see Made in USA on an electric guitar or an amplifier,
oh baby, that's
real. Oh baby,
yeah. I mean, especially, well, maybe
they still.
I would say the best amps I would say are made in England, but that's
England.
fine.
Okay.
But guitars,
guitars,
yeah. Yeah, Le Carré says the USA is bringing production. Now, this is a lot of talk. I want to see somebody do it. Who's doing it? I mean, they do make Toyotas and stuff in Virginia and South Carolina and stuff. There is some manufacturing going on there, but like,
you know what
Detroit almost died.
You know what's still made in America, very much so? Bombs.
Bombs. Yeah, we do make bombs. Rosie the Riveter.
F-35s, munitions. Yeah. That should
Travis.
tell you a lot.
Look at Travis nailed it. Reagan carried 49 states out of 50 in 1984. Regardless of the party influence, I miss the times when we were less divided, because we're not political parties anymore. We're crazy people. We're far left lunatics and far right
There's
maniacs.
no far left. There's no far left. You don't have
There's
a
no
left.
far left.
There's no left in America. There's no such thing as left. You guys don't have a left. Where's your left? Bernie? He's not even left. Drop him in Europe. He's not even left.
So
like
when
a
you say
centrist.
left, what is your definition of left? I'm curious. Did it get so far?
Socialized healthcare.
Well, that will never happen. It's too big a country to do it unless people are willing to pay more money in taxes.
Country. What about Brazil? There's a lot of huge countries around the world.
There's no people there, like compared to here, though. What's the population of Brazil compared to here? There's a lot of dead area there. What's their population?
Are you joking?
How many people are in Brazil? More than here? I don't know. Look, if we have a Google machine, we could look it up. How are we going to be able to pay for
overpopulated Brazil? What are you talking about? You're getting weird now.
Maybe the cities are overpopulated, but there's a lot of nothing.
There's a lot of dead nothing in America too. I've driven across it many, many times.
Well, most people live in the East Coast. Listen, I'm all for. I think we should just pay more in taxes, so we could have
socialized healthcare and
it's all about taxes.
Education system are where you start. I mean, there are many, many other things, but that's where you begin. There is no left in America. There's right and extreme right. And I should know. It was all invented over here, for crying out loud. You're talking to a European. We came up with all these ideas.
215 million in Brazil.
In Brazil. There you go.
We have 330.
360. Oh, 330.
Now, what do you think the healthcare is like in Brazil?
I mean, what do you think? Everybody's dropping dead because of a toothache? No,
I know a lot of people who live there, and I've heard
it can't be a whole lot worse than the United States. The United States is number 39 on the list.
Really?
Yeah, places like Denmark, Norway, Italy are higher.
Yeah. My buddy Onofre, who I used to work with at Rio Grande, he told me that he said, you might as well go down to the witch doctor lady down the street to go get one of her magical potions before you'll ever get antibiotics out of them.
Where,
he said they literally have ladies there. He's from outside of Sao Paulo, where he grew up.
Okay.
He said it's just and I'll tell you something funny though. Onofre is a bad boy, and this is all public knowledge. So he retired. He's an older guy now, and he bought like a little resort in the middle of nowhere, like kind of up the coast, but not near a hospital, anything, not near anyway. And he's an older gay dude, and he likes them young. So he hired some guys to come up to his place and help him fix the place. Well, you know what they did? They robbed him, and they tried to cut his arm off. They tried to kill him.
I have to tread very carefully with these stories here, because these are, I don't know.
What?
I know a lot of very interesting, nice people from Brazil.
But this has no bearing on people. I love people. They're wonderful. But these kids,
I just don't like this Americana idea that the rest of the world is primitive and all eating each other.
Story I'm
using leeches and shit.
That's not the story I'm telling you.
Listen, the only time I was refused medical care
was in the
United States.
Right.
Why? Because I got my appendix taken out and I went back to get my fucking staples out, and the doctor, the surgeon, does not accept Medicare. That's what I was told. And I said, all right, well, I don't have, I said, how much is it? And she goes, it was just barbaric. I told the doctor that I lived with here this story. She says, oh my God, that's the most barbaric thing I've ever heard. So I said, how much is it then for cash? And this is in a hospital. This is an NYU hospital in Manhattan. She goes into the doctor. She comes out after a minute. She goes, the doctor said he'll make an exception for, I don't know what it was, $1,000 or something.
And I didn't have it for that.
I didn't have it. I was fucking broke. It's a joke. I called the manager of the band. He was broke. He's like, I said, okay. And I looked at the woman. I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm keeping them. And I walked. And on my way down the hallway, she chased after me. She says, come back. She's probably thinking lawsuit, right? Uh-huh. That's what they're only thinking about, the money. They're not thinking about the fact that it's not right that a guy was walking away with staples in his gut. So I go back. Then she goes back into the doctor. She comes out and she goes, the doctor will see you now. I went in. It took him exactly 30 seconds to take them out. And he said, don't lift anything heavy for 5 weeks. And that was it for $500. I told that story to a serious, very, very serious senior doctor here in North Italy. And she said, that's the most barbaric medical story I've ever heard in all my years.
Wow.
So before you get on the fucking we live in the future shit, you
did
don't.
I do that?
Listen, people go on about
I
Cuba.
did
You know who has
not
the
do
fucking
that.
straightest teeth in the world? The Cubans. People go on about Cuba, oh, it's fucking communist. Yeah, they all have perfect healthcare and they all go to college for free. And so do we in Ireland, by the way. We have healthcare. It's not a perfect system. No country has a
Why
perfect
did the British
system. They
always have
grapple with
such
this
bad
shit.
teeth for so long?
The British?
Yeah.
I don't know, because they eat shit.
They
I
had
don't know.
terrible teeth forever. Eddie, $50. You're on fire today. Sorry, once again.
Eddie's rocking. He's
for
rocking.
off topic. Dirk, you mentioned you watched Boogie Nights. I did today. I watched Eyes Wide Shut today. Hey, we love that movie. I learned what
I love that.
Mr. Milich's daughter whispered into Bill's ear. She said, "You should have a cloak lined with ermine." It was. It was.
How did you learn that?
I didn't know what she said.
No, nobody knows.
How did you find that out,
Eddie?
You should have
spill the tea. Spill the tea.
Spill the tea. I'm going to give you Eddie or crazy. Here's a big nuclear blast. I'm going to go prep my first cocktail. I'm going to make a gin and soda. And I'll be right back with that, right? This is you get nuclear LA under siege.
He's gone. Will you see him? He's going to get aggressive now and start punching the camera. No. Thank you, Eddie. That's fucking awesome. How did you hear? Hey, here he is. You look skinnier, dude. You fucking do. I swear. Maybe it's because the beard got wider. Is that what happened? No, I can't hear you. You muted yourself because you're off to make a cocktail. You muted yourself.
No, I just haven't been eating anything. I've had like 4 omelets, a couple of salads, and I'm gonna bring out what I.
How many days is that?
I started it. So last time I ate like carbs was Sunday. But I'm gonna do this for a month because no, I'm not gonna goof around. I'm gonna just go get super fucking skinny. And also Dana, I am so like proud of her and how great she looks. She looks so gorgeous. I'm like, I want to be pretty again. I want to be pretty again. And like none of my clothes fit. I wear polo shirts every day.
Yeah,
you know what?
Annoying. That's
They're fat guy
annoying.
clothes. It's annoying.
When you can't get into your gorgeous clothes, that's annoying.
It's fucking annoying.
Yeah.
It's like in Michaela, we're talking about. I'll never fit into those suits because that was when I had like an eating disorder, and because those are the 38. The best I'll ever do is a 40 regular. I'm sure because I'm an old man now, but. You know, for my 30s, like when I used to come to Mr. North, I'd wear like black Gucci suits and fucking. I was always dressed to the nines. And you know,
came to my house one Thanksgiving when I was on 47th Avenue, and you had a fucking beautiful suit on. Yeah, I don't know what it was. You had a gray shirt and a black tie and a gorgeous suit for Thanksgiving.
Wow.
And I was like, that's a dapper motherfucker right there. I barely knew you back then.
Yeah, I was quite the snappy dresser before I became a lard ass.
Let me get some lard ass. Go. Hey, listen, guys, I'm not capping on America or anything. I fucking love American. I've American relatives and everything, and my son is American and so on. I lived there for 20 years. So I'm just saying, like, everyone slow down. Like, there are things you can pick out with every country, you know, and so just slow down on the whole we are the world horseshit, because there is no, you know, the happiest country in the world apparently is fucking Norway or somewhere like that. So, you know, and who gives a shit about Norway, right? So, like, I don't know. Everybody just chill the fuck out with this. Oh, we do it all right and they do it all wrong. Nah, you kind of need to travel the world and figure out where they do all the stuff best and borrow from there. You know, come to Italy, learn how to cook food. Go to Ireland, learn how to tell a joke. Go to America, and I don't know. Americans to me are the kindest. They're like the most gentlemanly. Americans they could teach. And I've lived around the world a bit, you know. I think Americans could teach Europeans how to be more, how to have better manners. I think Americans have better manners than the Europeans have. How about that? You weren't expecting that one, were you? And that's from someone who's been around a lot. I think Americans have beautiful manners. I know New Yorkers get a bad rap because they're in a hurry, the New Yorkers. That's okay. They're rushing somewhere. So, stop them on the street for directions or whatever. They're in a hurry. They're going to miss their train. So they don't have much time to tell you. So it's not rudeness. But I find Americans to be very civil and very respectful. Much more than Central Europeans in particular. I don't mean Ireland. I mean French, of course, naturally, because they never learn manners somehow. I don't know why the French never learned fucking manners. They just didn't. But Central Europeans in general have less manners. And some people think it's in America, it's because of the tip system. I'm sure that helps, but really just regular people are just more mannerly and more generous to strangers than Europeans are. And you know who's second best in the world? Muslims, people in Syria, people in fucking Beirut. They will bring you into their home if you're lost. They'll feed you. Then they'll strap a bomb to you. No, I'm kidding. They're just, they're giving gentle people to strangers. And ironically, they wound up as enemies. And I don't blame the Americans for making that. You know who I blame.
Cheers.
How much gin is in there?
I put one shot.
One shot. That's nothing for you.
Wow.
Well, gin and vodka are slimming. They're not.
I don't drink spirits ever. I have not had spirits in my body for.
Can't put on weight with gin. I mean, whiskey can give you a bit of water retention. So can gin a little bit, but it's not weight. It's just a little water retention for like half a day.
I was reading the keto guide, and it said if you must drink, have a nice gin with diet tonic. I was like, who sells diet tonic?
Or vodka? Or vodka is very slimming. Jennifer Aniston says it's the only skinny drink in the world. That's why that's all she will drink to maintain her figure is vodka.
I like the way that tastes. It just makes me an asshole.
It won't make it. It'll be fine. We'll talk about cats.
We'll talk about kitty cats and how cute everybody is, and I'll disparage America.
No, you've been talking America up. I just kind of clarified things with people.
America, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. I clarified things with the audience. I find, as a man who's traveled quite a bit and lived in different countries, I find Americans to be some of the most civil in the world.
Definitely.
Like, they have beautiful manners. Americans, they may step out of line because they don't know, but they're trying to be mannerly, whereas the French aren't. The French are looking for ways to not be mannerly, right?
The French, well, they're cunty in a way that we kind of like, because their attitude is
they get
cunty,
to be cunty,
and we like that because, like, you go into a restaurant and the waiters are always so mean to you because they don't give a shit. I blame it on the tipping system because we have to kiss your ass.
I just mentioned it to the crowd.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right because, oh my God, hi, my name's Gwendolyn and I'll be your server tonight. Oh my God, you guys have the same anniversary. And Fetchy's like, no, we, and they just don't care. That's because they're getting paid a living wage elsewhere in the world. And we have to, you have
to really lick ass.
You have to lick the ass as hard as you got to dig in there.
Yeah, but I find Americans are just in general abroad.
Americans are extremely friendly.
I was rude to someone today. I was walking through Venice, and there are families who just stop in the middle of the little laneways. Like, we're all trying to get past. And I don't give a fuck. I'm a Veneziano. I want to fucking just plow through the people, It's herds of cattle everywhere. And I come across a lot of French who are pushy and horrible and, whatever. People from all over the world. And I went through a family and I went, out of the fucking way. I said like that. And and the guy goes, what? And I didn't realize that they were Americans. I thought they were maybe French, or maybe they weren't Americans. I don't know. The guy goes, what? And I turned around. I was like, you're in everyone's way. And he goes, yeah, but don't say out of the fucking way. Say, please move out of the way. Like, and I said, you know what?
Fuck you.
No, I said, you know what? You're right. I apologize.
Oh, good boy.
And I kept walking.
You know what? You were just, that guy gave you enough rope. Like I say at the end of my show every time, he gave you enough rope to hang yourself and you didn't.
Yeah, like I was like, what
You're
am I
just
going to
having a
do?
day. You're just
Am I
in a
going to
fucking
dig my
mood.
heels on this one? I was just rude to a
Yeah.
complete stranger. And he goes, no, it's not that. It's like, please move out of it. And I was like, you know what? I apologize. You're right. But, you know, I find Americans are, in general, I'm generalizing. These are broad strokes I'm painting with, right? But I find Americans around the world tend to be gentlemanly. They say sir, they say ma'am.
Yeah.
They have all of that
Especially
stuff.
in New
It's
York.
nice, especially in New York.
People are so nice in New York. So helpful, I think. New
Yeah.
York, you know,
You guys get a bad rap.
get a bad rap.
With the
You
rest
know,
of America, from Texas and stuff.
oh yeah, oh Southerners, the Southern hospitality, it's legendary.
Yeah.
Oh my God, do you like hummingbird pie? Well, come on in, I just made some fresh. You know, like they're like Irish people. Irish people will invite you. Oh, where do you want to know where Main Street is? Oh, I just put on a roast. Would you like some? Come in and meet the family. Because Ireland, they invite everybody into their homes. It's crazy town. The Irish
I
are.
was just saying that the Muslims are the same.
Oh yes.
They get no kudos for that. Beirut, remember Roger Waters?
Leaving Beirut.
Leaving Beirut. That's what the Muslim. They may have very little food on the table, but they'll give you their food.
Yep.
And I was mentioning the Anthony Bourdain episode earlier on my thing. He's with that family in Ramallah or wherever the fuck he is, and the family, they're all eating, and the family feel uncomfortable. Why? Because the camera crew aren't eating. And they're just like, we feel bad. And he's like, why? And they're like, because they're not eating, they're filming. He goes, that's their job. They have to film me eat all the time. But they're like, but they should dine with us. Like, it was so against their whole ethos.
Culture, completely. I've watched a million things where people go to like Bedouins, and the Bedouins like to make these beautiful rice things, and they hand them the food, and they all sit down communally and eat, and I don't know. Listen, fucking fake news, all of it, right?
All of it.
Here's an interesting thing. I just saw it a second ago. Joe LaFaro, hey Joseph, MD, Oisin, any ER would have removed your staples whether you could pay or not. There's a federal law saying that the ER can't refuse care to anyone for any reason. So that's fucked up.
It wasn't ER. It was, I had to go back. So ER is the emergency room, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I had to, but I was already in. I had my operation. They took my appendix out. I went back a week or 10 days later to have the staples taken out. And then it was kind of in one of the clinics in the hospital, but not in the ER. So I don't know if that changes the rules. In the end, I think they know what you're talking about, and they had to just do it. They had to cave.
Yeah.
But it's just,
I mean, that is crazy. That's a crazy
it is
story.
pretty wild. Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, listen, guys, for those of you who don't, and I'm going to sound like Joe, American asshole, but like you go to the emergency rooms in America, and it's not like, yes, sir, welcome, ma'am. You wait for fucking hours and hours and hours and hours, and you have to pay for it. You have to wait forever. And what you will find is that, and I'm not talking about immigrants or refugees, I'm talking about Americans who are just using that as their general practitioner. They are not making, because they don't have insurance, and because you have to have insurance in America. That's one of the reasons why the healthcare in America is so fucked up in so many different ways. But if you go to an emergency room, and unless you've got a gunshot wound to your head, or you're like, I'm having a heart attack. When he was going to the hospital in Italy, and I just said, just clutch your chest and tell them you're having a heart attack, because every ER will take you immediately.
That's your hack.
That's my hack. Just go.
It works here. It works here. That's what I did. I was like,
works here,
can't
too?
breathe. Yeah, and they were like, get in here now, and I was seeing it straight away. It was
they'll make you get on the back of the line.
And then I mean, I was like, the machines were it was fucking Star Trek in there. It was Star Trek. It was amazing. And then I was taken care of. It was all good. They told me my liver was fine, my blood was fine. I was like, that's impossible. And then I left, and you were on the phone going to me, how much I was like, nothing, zero. Nothing. Of course.
Yeah, zero. Never. I thought maybe there'd be like some kind of like service charge, €2. No, Travis Watts says, this is a good conversation for you. I know several Cubans. Of course, Roy, my old friend and a guy you knew very well. I know why his family left Cuba. Why did a multitude flee communist Cuba for refuge in the United States? What is your stance on that? Why did they leave?
This is long. Do you want to get to the other super chats before we get back to this one? I just feel like Eddie is coming in hard. He's going to get left. This is going to take me a while.
Travis Watts, thank you for that. We will talk about that. Gong Woman 4. John says $2 and an armed society is a polite society.
Oh, that's a very right-wing way of looking at it. Yeah, because the guy might have a gun and blow your head off. That's,
he might.
He might. It's such a right-wing way to look at it, but that's okay.
Get some triangle.
So we're in.
And then Eddie with another 50 balloons.
You missed Nathaniel.
No, I didn't. Did I? Oh, I did. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'll get back to you for the big bang boom. Nathaniel Hannon, $4.99. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. At John, not until you empty at least half a mag and a half. Now, we all know this is Annie Oakley right here. Nathaniel Hannon is, don't fuck with Nathaniel Hannon and his solid gold Speedmaster, because that boy is packing, and I don't mean sexually.
And so is John. This is Tweedledee, Tweedledum between the two of them. Fuck's sake.
Thanks.
What was that? What? What was that?
When people go crazy, I do this thing. Cuckoo,
I never saw that one.
I made that a couple of weeks back.
I love that one.
One of the bashers saw me do that and got it off YouTube and sent it to me, and I put the cuckoo clock noise behind it. And I said, "Thanks, bro. I'm going to use this from now on. This is great." When people make statements that are absolutely out of their minds and crazy town, which is Friday night, so that's fine. What did I just do with the big one? Here it is. Eddie, 50 balloons. Wow. Lip readers on Reddit. I hate Reddit. God, can I tell you how much I fucking hate Reddit?
But can you continue, please?
Are unanimous on what she said. I went back and checked her lips. They align correctly with what I read. Also off topic, I bought a Doxa 300 Pro 42 millimeter. I don't know what that first part means. Do you?
No, what he's referring to Eyes Wide Shut when she whispers the thing in his ear. Lip readers are apparently unanimous about what she said. So that's very interesting. Thank you. I just wanted to know your source on that.
Oh,
so now off topic. Now we're on to a new thing in the same chat. The Doxa 300 Pro 42. I love Doxa.
Yeah,
I would have gone for the 600 maybe, but I don't know. 300 is still nice.
Doxa 300 Pro, right?
Oh, I like what he said after this. He goes, "My fellow Americans, the best form of patriotism is dissent."
Oh.
Okay. It's not, he didn't spell it correctly, but I understand.
Yeah, it's not, it's decent.
It's decent. He's right. Dissent is what built America. So never criticize a person who's criticizing America, because they're making America better. Because that's how America became a great country, because of dissent, because of criticism and revision. After all, they are the amendments, right? Amendment. What is an amendment? When you have to amend something, right?
Sure.
Yeah, that's how you make something better. You build.
Can we amend the Second Amendment?
You fix. Yeah, they should amend the Second Amendment.
That needs to be amended
to the second Amendment, whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not anti-American. I absolutely agree. When people get pissed off with, especially Americans, with messages of dissent, I'm like, you're not a patriot. Because the foundation of your fucking country is to be able to criticize your leaders and the status quo. That's how you became a great country in the first place. So shut the fuck up and let the students protest on student campus, you fascists.
Well, the thing, I'm going to give you, we're going to get into that in a second. I'm going to give you, this is, what did I didn't do this one, right? So living in the United States of America and watching, I generally don't watch network news because it's biased. It's
Right.
editorial, and I hate editorial news. Just give me the facts so I can make up my own mind. Please don't tell me what I'm supposed to think. I'm not interested in that at all. But the one narrative that happens here, especially with dissent, as you said, is that you're allowed to protest against anything in the world except Israel in America.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can't
You're
touch.
not allowed to, because it's instantly anti-Semitic, and people conflate the whole idea of anti-Zionism because they don't know what Zionism is.
Oh yeah, there's
And
a huge cancer going on there, and everybody's discovering it now. I mean, everyone 2 years ago, everybody discovered Kate Bush, and me and you were the only people we knew who loved her, and now the whole world loves her. Well, the good news, even more good news, all the youth are figuring out this cancer that's been there for a long time. You can't say a fucking word
not allowed to
about
say
that
anything.
bizarre experiment.
Just
And now they're all figuring it out. I'll be back.
Just watching Piers Morgan the other day when he had Mehdi Hassan on this show, he just kept going off and off and off and off about how it's, like, well, how do you solve the Middle East? And the answer is very simple. Stop. Israel needs to stop taking over property there. They need to stop it. Stop the occupation. That would stop it now. Because who wants to fight people? Nobody wants to do that. They're doing it for a reason. It's like the IRA existed because they were sick of the oppression from that was years and years and years and years in the making. It's like Palestinians are not Hamas. They're not. Hamas is, yes, a terrorist group. Yes. Why did they hire them? Because they needed a terrorist group. It's that simple. And it's sad, but true. And people just don't see. The news will never say that. You can't say anything about that. Benjamin Netanyahu is a very, very bad guy. He's a very, very bad guy. And I don't know why people don't. He's one of them. He's one of the worst people in the history of the world. And
no, but he's just one of them.
Oh, he's just
one of them, dude. It's been fucking years of them. And I mean, Smotrich and fucking Gavir.
I know.
But
I was just trying to illustrate how, why did the IRA exist? Because they needed some terrorists to go blow some shit up because they were tired of taking it. It's like, it's how long can you take it before you fight back in an extremely violent way? And I don't support any of that. Of course not. None of us should. None of us do. But you got to know the difference between the two things. And I don't know why any sane person considers Zionism and Jewish people the same thing. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's not the same.
They're figuring it out slowly. It's taken some time, but they're finally coming around to that. Thank God. And
who's been the aggressor this entire time? Who's been the aggressor every single time?
Yeah, we know.
Yes, October 6th was October 7th was the worst thing ever it was terrible, but that's just
wasn't the worst thing ever.
Well, no, it's just
not even close to the worst thing ever.
It was a terrible thing that gets all of the hype because nobody's reporting the 70 years of torture and open air imprisonment.
2018, 2019, there was the Great March of Return. 31,000 people were shot. 31,000 in the legs.
Why does no one see any of that stuff?
Because first of all, you guys aren't seeing the shit on the media. You should be watching everyone should be watching Al Jazeera. I don't care what you guys have to say about it. I think Al Jazeera, it leans a bit more on the Middle East side of the story, but honestly, you're going to get a more true story. I don't believe any of these media organizations tell the 100% truth. You're going to get a way truer story from Al Jazeera than you'll get from anything in the United States. Anything.
Sure.
So unless you're on YouTube and you're looking at Breaking Points or one of those great new channels, they don't hear about that stuff. What about the guy he was celebrating 42 kneecaps he shot off in one day? That was only in 2019. Fucking October 7 is tiny. It's terrible, but it's surrounded by way bigger shit. What about fucking 2014 Protective Edge and Casled in 2009? Way more people killed.
Nobody knows about it.
But they're people that they don't care about. The difference with October 7th is it was our guys that got hurt, okay? Right. And then everybody gives a shit.
It wasn't the stray dogs and who cares.
And it was full of fucking lies. You don't have to lie about the Great March of Return. There's 31,000 people shot. 155 medics shot in the head. 155 medics, people trying to help people off the ground, shot by snipers. Did you hear about that? Is there a big vigil? Is there a song in the Eurovision all about that? No, none of it. Because we live in a fucking biased world. That's it.
Travis Watts wants to know, why did a multitude of communist Cuba for refuge in the USA? I'd like to hear your take, because I know what my Cuban friend said.
I have a lot of Cuban friends on different sides of the
Me too.
conversation.
Me too.
I mean, it was a changeover and it was an unsure moment. And some people sided with one side and some people sided with the rebels.
Sure.
It's funny to me that Americans all saw Godfather 2. They loved it.
Yeah.
But they don't think about what that was trying to tell you. They were trying to turn it into a casino. It was Hyman Roth and people like him.
It
trying
was
to turn
high-end casino, the whole country.
The whole place. They were turning it into an American casino.
Yeah.
And some people weren't happy with that, including Fidel and all his boys, right?
Sure.
And some people weren't happy with that and they wanted to get out of there. For me, people who defected walked away from the fight. Sorry. Maybe they walked away to a better life. That's fine.
Yeah.
But they walked away from the fight for their own country.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine being an American and doing that.
Well, life wasn't good there at all for them right after that. So if you were a freedom fighter, you went through hell for quite...
The embargo started. The reason why they're all driving cars in the 50s is because the embargo began. The embargo has been crippling.
Sure.
It's been super. And by the way, the embargo goes way beyond what you think. They will embargo ships, shipping stuff like nickel and steel and so on, coming from other countries across the Atlantic that they think might wind up in Cuba. Like the embargo is heavy, brutal torture on the country. It's no wonder. So it's not that communism failed there. It's that they had this fucking gatekeeper over them, punishing them for the embargo ever since. It's a much more complicated thing than just, they decided to go communist. But if you live in the United States,
were tired of the corruption of this rich regime, and they were tired of if you didn't play ball with them, you got absolutely nothing. It was
there's a great film years ago. There's a great film years ago that Kevin Costner and not Sharon Stone, but what's the beautiful girl from oh my god, she was in so many movies. Anyway, her name will come back.
Natasha Henstridge.
No, she so they're in love, but she's cheating on her billionaire husband or boyfriend, whatever. He discovers it, that they're in love, and rather than let his wife go, he has her kidnapped and he puts her in a whorehouse. And he gets her fucking addicted to heroin or something and fucked by every asshole in the city. And she's eventually found by Kevin Costner at the end of the movie. It's a Madeline Stowe. Thank you, Jim Patterson. Stowe, right? Madeline Stowe? Is it Stowe?
Do you think she's attractive?
Stowe is the one from Last of the Mohicans.
Oh man, I've always found her eyes to be so dead, but that's another
okay. Stop, because that's a fucking stunning woman. Right. So anyway, he finds her at the end because the billionaire, he wanted her so bad that if he couldn't have her, he punished her into, at the end of the movie, she's completely abused. She's beaten to shit. She's a mess. America saw Cuba as the next holiday destination for Americans.
Sure.
They wanted to turn it into a casino. And when Fidel said, no, fuck off, you fucking greedy pigs, they said, okay, now we're going to make you a whore. Now we're going to turn you into shit. And they beat the living shit out of them ever since. Shame. It's just shame. America should have fucked off and minded its own business, but it doesn't know how. Sorry, fellas.
No, I agree. Hawaii shouldn't be a state either. We went and destroyed that entire fucking culture. That beautiful.
What about Diego Garcia? Yeah. They just they killed all the animals. That's the first thing they did. They killed all the pets. They said, okay, let's kill everyone, because they had cats and dogs. They killed them all. One day, everybody in Diego Garcia woke up and all their pets were gone. Talk about they're eating the pets, they're eating the cats, they killed them all. Everyone on the islands of Diego Garcia woke up and said, where the fuck are our pets? They're gone. Then they told everybody there's an emergency, you have to move. They moved them to surrounding islands. Why? They wanted a strategic position to put a fucking military base, and the people were in the way. It's called imperialism, guys.
It is imperialism. Well, we've certainly been guilty of that. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I do business with Hyman Roth, but I'd never trust Hyman Roth. Drew B, by the way, back in the biggest way ever, dude. Ever.
Oh yeah, was he a defector?
No, we had a thing. I don't know. Like I don't know. Maybe
okay.
I don't know what it was. Like he just left the show.
You know, sometimes the strongest friendships happen when you have a bickering.
It wasn't even that. I don't
skirmish.
know if it was a misunderstanding or whatever it was, but
okay,
he's amazing. And here's a very interesting take on this, and you'll probably disagree, but this is kind of true. Fidel was just a rich elitist who was bored and decided to take on an entire country and ruin it.
My God.
If it was a great country, he came for money. Why don't they allow citizens? And why don't?
So was Ernesto? Ernesto came from a rich family in Argentina. What fucking difference? Oh,
sometimes rich playboy cunts can just decide to fuck everything up. Maybe that's a take. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Okay, I enjoy the discussion. Yeah,
I know you do.
I'd love to believe that, because then I'd sleep a lot easier.
So all of my Cuban friends, though, and
yes.
I know you're a bigger fan than communism than I think it's a great idea that doesn't work, and it can't work. Can't possibly ever work, because people are always greedy.
You haven't specified which variation. You're talking about Marxism? What are you talking about?
Well, on paper,
I hate when non-communists talk about communism. I'm sorry, man.
Well, do you consider yourself a communist?
In many ways, sure.
I think philosophically, maybe, but you live in a capitalist society.
Actually, this country up until recently was run by the extreme left. Now it's run by Meloni, which is a fascist. Would you prefer fascism? Because we know lots about it
somewhere
here.
In the middle of that.
We know lots about it here. This is we invented, the Italians, whatever. I suppose I could say we at this point, invented fascism. What's the opposite of my daughter when she goes on marches on the streets? What is she doing? She's on communist marches. They're anti-fascist marches. What do the fascists talk about? What are the fascist talking points here? Less immigration, fewer immigrants, less asylum, smaller government, lower taxes.
Sure. Who does that?
The right to bear arms. Do these things sound familiar? This is the fascist movement of Italy. They're not ashamed to call it that. They love it. They embrace it.
Fascism has always been considered an extremely bad word because of the people that that came before.
And socialism and communism gets a bad rap.
Socialism is, half of America is already socialist.
Okay, I'm going to boil it down to something real basic, because it's a huge, long conversation, and let's not do it. I'm going to boil it down to real basic. Americans think that communism is based around, first of all, they don't know anything about communism, all the different varieties. But whatever, it's a cartoon, childish version. But whatever, I have to deal with it every day, but
it's never worked in a real society.
It's worked all the time.
Where is it worked? Didn't work in Russia.
Ireland. It's social democratic.
That's not socialist. Pure communism.
It's a social democracy is a variation of communism. You just don't know that because you don't know anything about. I love you, but you don't know anything about communism.
God, bring it on.
Let me boil this down real quick, clean. A lot of people, especially in America, are told since they were little children that communism means that you can't get rich, that you can't earn more than your neighbor. So therefore, there's no incentive to work hard. All of this classic tropes, horse shit, bullshit that you're fed. Sorry. Okay. Karl Marx said, you can get rich all you want. Absolutely. You just can't hurt anyone else to do so. Now, put that in the mix. Put that rule into America.
Well, that didn't work in Russia because everybody got hurt.
For 5 seconds. Let's not bring up Russia because that's super corrupt. And corruption happens, by the way, everywhere, including in capitalist countries.
No, totally it does. But my
results of corruption doesn't prove that communism doesn't work.
Now, I know about that whole thing.
So let's take every millionaire you've ever met. Ask them, did you ever have to harm? I don't mean physically pull their nails out of their fingers. By the way, that happens too. But I mean, did you ever have to do anything bad to anyone else, including your competition, to get where you are? And most of them will say yes. There's a famous American phrase, behind every fortune is a great crime. And that's what Marx was saying. You can get ahead in life. Of course you can. You can work hard and you can earn. You can't harm anyone else politically, economically, in any other way to get it. Once you put that in place, a lot of the millionaires and billionaires disappear because they all had to fuck someone else over to get their fortune. That's capitalism. That's why he was against it. Once you add that little rule, which they won't talk about in there, now you filter out all of the problem. That's the essential core, if you will, of Marxism. If I had Marxists around me, which I know many of, they might disagree and say other things. But I think for me, having lived in different places in the world, they would say, for me, I that's the conclusion I come to. Yes, make money. Yes, work hard. Get ahead in life. Absolutely. Just don't harm in any other way some other person, other business, whatever it is, to get there. And then you see shitloads of the stuff fall away.
So what civilization that conforms to that has been successful for the people?
Okay, well, what's successful? Are you telling me America's successful? You know how many people
No,
under the poverty line are in America?
Morgan. Nope, don't Piers Morgan me. I asked you a direct question.
Yes.
Where has communism been successful? Where everybody's happy being communist and yay, nobody's being tortured in prison,
Ireland,
and they're allowed to
Spain,
travel and they're allowed to go
Ireland, Spain, France,
that's socialism.
Denmark.
It's different. It's
social democracy
light.
is a form of communism. It's a form of, what's the communism you're thinking of? Some cartoon version of communism that you were told by the Americans? It's a fucking horseshit.
So you think Ireland is a completely Marxist?
No, I think it's a social democracy.
Okay. All right. Just so I don't
like
come
Sweden,
off like a completely combatant idiot.
or like
I will
France
do a deep
or
dive
Denmark.
since I read 50 books a week. I'll go read everything Karl Marx ever wrote, and I'll get back to you on that. But it's from what I understand, because all I know about like Roy's situation and stuff in Cuba was that they're beautiful people, they're incredible people. It was a great idea. It just didn't work because everybody's starving there. Okay, and they had those two sets of currency there. Well, and you and I have not been there either. So
let me Piers Morgan you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's worked in the United States. You know how many people can't pay their healthcare? People who can't pay their rents in the United States. You know how many people who die of starvation on the streets of the United States?
Sure.
So you're telling me that worked? So the truth is, if you want to take it on a global scale, there is no system that works. Mm-hmm. Many brilliant people said that capitalism is the worst form of social system, except for all the rest. What they meant by that is it's really bad, but it isn't as bad as the others. That's quite a smart thing to say. It's also giving sugar in the mouth to Americans, saying, "Oh, don't worry, you're doing things right because at least you're not as bad." You know,
I'm the least rah-rah America dude.
I know, I know,
that,
and this
right?
is why this
I
is
think
an
we're
interesting
the most fucked up thing. I love the idea of socialism. I just know why it wouldn't work here because everybody's too fucked up. No one could ever admit that we should have all of those things. I believe in social democracy, but I think people are scared. I'll be honest with you. I don't have. I know that Leninism is completely different from Marxism, and it's an amalgam of all of those things. And I understand that 100%. But what I will do, because I probably should have done it years ago, is I'll read all the work. I'll read all of Karl Marx's stuff. So I know what the basic tenets of, and I've always said it's the greatest idea in the world. It's the greatest idea.
This is a classic thing. The fascists say this to me too. Here, the fascists. I have fascist friends here. As I've said to many people online, and gotten into trouble for it. The truth is, half this country, or more than half of it, is actually quite fascist. And they always say the same thing: it's a great idea on paper, but it doesn't work. Right. This is a trope that goes around. It's like, I don't know what else to compare it to. It's a classic trope. None of the systems work, and certainly not perfectly. None of them. They're miles away from working. The idea of distributed wealth around a country already exists in so many modern industrialized countries, and we call it social democracies, and that's basically the rest of the world. Earlier, we just spoke about how the guy wouldn't take my fucking staples out of my gut until he saw the cash. That story could be used by any Marxist as a perfect exemplar of how capitalism fails. Okay. You see people on the streets who can't find food in America. They're American citizens and they can't eat. That could be the proof to how capitalism fails. And they could say the same things about capitalism. Capitalism works in many, many great ways. It has its ways it fails. It has its ways that doesn't. Communism is the same thing, and socialism is the same thing. Socialism and communism very, very closely related.
Socialized democracy,
But
you're allowed to own your own
obsession.
land. In communism, you're not allowed to own your own land. I know that's one of the 10 original Marxism things. Land is community property. You could work it, you could live there, but you don't own it. You can't sell it. I mean, that's true, and that's not true in socialized.
That's true in Cuba. That's not true in, for example, Sweden, which is extremely.
It was true in Russia.
It's now true in Russia.
Not now. I don't know what that is now. I don't. He's slowly trying to peddle it into. Whatever he's trying to do. He's creating a whole new amalgam of kind of politics.
I think when you start reading Karl Marx, you're going to realize, first of all, that that the image of communism has been painted to you in a very weird light, and that actually the United States is quite communist and quite socialist in many ways. They just don't want to admit it.
Right.
Like the fire department come and put out the flames in your house. You don't have to give them a credit card for doing so. That's a form of socialism.
But you
do have distributed wealth throughout the country. In the family unit, for example, the father goes out and gets the money and he brings it home to his family. Why doesn't he just keep it for himself? Because the idea of community exists throughout all cultures. So this idea, you've been fed this American idea.
No, I've not been fed shit, dude. I think basically you think that people think that I
think the gin is working, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. Listen, in the original tenets of communism, I know that you're not allowed to own land. I know you're not allowed to travel. You like the fact of communism, you're not allowed to travel. You're not allowed. You have to stay within your. Nobody in the Iron Curtain was allowed to go anywhere. Were they?
No, that's because of conflict. That's not because of communism.
Why? What do you mean it was because of conflict?
Because when they have to shut it down, because that happens because of conflict. You're of course allowed to travel.
You're not allowed to travel.
Russia stopped.
No one in Cuba came to the United States.
Yeah, because of the embargo, because of the conflict, not because of the idea of communism, because of the conflict. Because, oh God, once you create a barrier around a place and the place is trying to defend itself, it says to the people, you can't leave here because you're going to kill us. If you start running away from the fight, you're going to kill us then. And then the whole thing doesn't make sense in the first place. It's because of the conflict. If America just walked away and left Cuba alone, it would be a prosperous place. Hell, they could have sold all the rum and the cigars, right? They could have done well with that. And the tourism, they could have made their own casinos. But they haven't been able to do that. And they haven't been able to let their population leave legally because they're in a cell that has an embargo around it by their neighbor who's super aggressive. That's why. It's not a stipulation of communism.
Well, that's why I'm
gonna traveling
because listen, I'm no idiot, and I always thought I had a pretty good idea of it, and I've always said I'm one of those guys that's always said it sounds great on paper because corruption is always going to be there. Yes, capitalists are corrupt, but there's always that guy that wants more, especially, and we've learned that with the former Soviet
and nothing will in a communist regime. Nothing stops the guy who wants more. Who wants to
it's
work
just
harder.
human nature. It's just human nature.
No, nothing will stop him. The only thing that will stop him in Marxism in particular is by harming someone else to get ahead. If he wants to get up earlier in the morning to make more business, he wants to open his store earlier or whatever, he wants to work harder, that's fine. But he can't injure the other guy to get ahead. And that's the idea behind the capitalist idea.
Ash Fishbowl with 100 balloons. Great show, guys. Wow, we got crazy, and I drank gin, so I'm gonna fucking punch.
No, but I love it. It's all good.
The other thing that has been put forward with communism a lot of the time is that if you have no impetus to succeed, to be the best at what you do, you become lazy. So, and I think that's
every culture.
in every culture. And like in communism, we're all the same. We all make the same thing, blah, 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 blah. I've never agreed with
What do
that
you mean we're
because
all the same?
some of
We
the,
all make the same.
no, I'm using tropes now. You like
Okay,
that.
okay.
No,
Sorry.
I'm not saying that.
Okay, I see.
Listen, you lazy fucking communists are out there fucking on the dole for your fucking bread line, and you don't give a shit because you're gonna go eat your gruel with your fat wife with the fucking babushka on her head. Who gives a fuck? So that's not what I'm saying. Because all the greatest musicians I've ever heard in my fucking life came from communist Russia. They're crazy.
The greatest pianist, yes.
The greatest pianists of all
Violinist.
time. Some of
Yeah.
the greatest singers that the West has never heard of. Why? Because they kept them for themselves. But you got to admit, White Nights, that scene in the plane, is that one of the greatest scenes you've ever seen in your life in a movie?
Yeah, remind me.
When Baryshnikov starts fucking eating his passport.
Oh shit.
Do you remember that with Gregory Hines? You know,
Yes.
he's a defector.
Yes.
He's now he's Baryshnikov. He's
Yes.
playing himself. He goes and the plane's gonna crash land in Siberia, and he's like, oh my god, no. And he grabs his passport and he rips it up and he starts eating it.
Wow.
That movie's incredible. Ash Fishpool, you're a legend, dude. I'm gonna give you, what I'm gonna give you for that? I'm gonna give you let's go Leonard. Let's go Lenny. So I'm going to thank you very much.
That's amazing. $100.
$100, dude.
That's a lot, man.
And everybody loves
That's
this.
the best one you got.
You know what
all
people
night.
like? You and me arguing.
Yeah, they want to see
Because,
you
look,
get fucked up on gin and tell your.
I'm actually kind of lit, but in a good way.
Fuck off.
Does anybody know the score to Evita? That he was a fascist, right? And the money kept rolling. JHP 1999. I think Turk is on the right track. The distinction with the social democracy is market economy. I mean, that's basically where I was going with that. I think if you look at the basic tenets of communism or Marxism, they differ from today's socially economic European societies. But I remind Americans all the time that the best life I have ever seen in my entire existence is the European lifestyle, which relies on social democratics. And I've always said that. I go, those people have great lives. It's socialism in a way that you don't understand. The people, like their cigarettes. Everybody in Italy smokes millions of cigarettes. And you know what? They walk into the store. Those cigarettes cost €3. They get a bottle of wine. It's €3. They all go to Spain for the holidays. Their groceries. They go and get the best mozzarella, the best ricotta. You know what? They just pay higher taxes. But their lives aren't taxed on a daily basis with insane. You think that America shit drives me bananas. Because I just took my friend Steve to Food Cellar. You remember Food Cellar? He said, "Oh my God!" He goes, "This loaf of bread is $12. That's how we pay." Yeah, dude. Groceries in America right now, you cannot believe the price. Eggs are $8, $9 for.
I was going to film. I was in the supermarket today, and I was going to film the prices because the prices. I mean, for chicken, I bought a guinea fowl today for $4.19 for $5. Again, a full guinea fowl for $5, and beautiful, not pumped full with hormones and so on. Oh, there he goes with the gin.
Fuck everybody.
Listen, the truth is that
gin makes me like crazy.
That, Marx would have been fine with different economic systems around the world, except that his fear was that it would run riot, that capitalism could get out of control like a rabid dog.
Right.
And I think you've seen that happen over and over again. And some diehard capitalists will say, fuck it, let it run riot. It's okay. It's like the end scene of Margin Call with Jeremy Irons. We can't help ourselves. This is what we do as people.
God, that movie, I could watch it 50 times in a row.
Yeah. But
yes, Dana, yes. Yes, Dana, yes.
Phone in and lighten the mood. The mood is fine, but you can phone in.
I mean, who doesn't want those two birds in there? And they're having their anniversary, guys. Happy 15th anniversary.
You have a lot of
guys.
super chats to get
We
through, I
love you.
think.
Yeah, I do. I have a lot of super chats because you know what
Let's
they
do it.
love when we talk about communism and fascism.
Hey, listen, it's interesting, right?
It is interesting. Is what's really interesting is like, you know, because I don't read.
I want to
fiction.
talk about Colin Farrell in a minute in Penguin.
I didn't see it yet.
I just saw the first episode.
JHB mega
okay.
super chat. Let's go with. Oh, I haven't done the monks. Oh my God, there's so many. You guys are on fire right now. Jesus Christ. Andrew Wilkowicz, Canadian 10 tells everybody wants free stuff until they realize the majority of their income is going to pay taxes. Listen, I'm going to go on record for you guys right now. I have a little tax situation that I'm dealing with because I had a woman that didn't properly file my taxes correctly, and I'm up a little bit of Schitt's Creek with taxes, but I'm paying it off slowly, and it's a pain in the ass, and he knows all about it. It's like I wound up like with penalties and stuff, and I'm trying to figure that all out. And you know, at the end of the day, I would gladly pay the maximum amount of taxes out of my paycheck every day if the guy next door to me got adequate health care and food and shelter. I would, because that's who I am as a person. I feel it's necessary.
If and when you move to Italy, are you going to?
It will be that.
Are you going to become resident? You're going to pay
I'm
Italian
an EU
taxes?
citizen, so.
You want to hear something that might piss you off in Italy?
No, go ahead.
Because no system is perfect.
I know that.
You could get me on an equivalent podcast against an Italian and talk about other things. But you know what the Italians do with taxes? The authorities, because they don't trust their population in any way, they look at your earnings from this year and they tax you for the next year.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Let's say you have a business and you made a certain amount of money and you should pay $10,000 in taxes.
Estimated tax. Yeah.
Estimated. They go, listen, that means you have to pay now $10,000 for your coming year. Isn't that wild?
And you have to pay it ahead of time?
Yeah, you've got to pay it now for your coming year.
Well, I mean, listen,
that doesn't sound nice. Does
No.
it?
I've been doing a deep dive on this stuff because I'm a dual national. So it turns out that, like, for example, you are well, you're not a dual national, you're a resident of the EU, but you get paid? You get paid in the US or in Europe?
In the US for the channel.
So you just have to pay tax in the US.
In the US.
How do you handle that shit with your Italian? Because they're not giving you any benefits. Because I know you don't have your certificato.
No, right. I'm an EU citizen, but I'm resident. I'm resident in Dublin, Ireland.
Right. So
I'm part of the EU. If I was resident in London,
I will be too. So I'll be in the exact same boat you are.
Okay, so you're fine.
Because I'm an Irish citizen.
You have no real reason to become a resident. You can become domicilio, which is you have a home here.
That's what
as long as you have an Irish passport, right?
Yeah. Well,
so you have a key. You have the key to the world.
It's on the way back.
Yeah, you have the key.
It's expired.
Okay, but you've got it. So you're fine. You won't have to worry. You kind
of
have
to go
through
the whole rigmarole of fucking the whole thing.
You kind of have the best of both worlds.
Oh, I know.
EU citizenship.
Well, that's why I'm
American
Italian citizenship.
You're an American citizen.
Yes, of course.
You have both passports.
I have 2 passports.
That's cake and eating it, man. You have the world is your oyster.
Well, that's why
the best shit ever.
I had not renewed my even though I still have it's called foreign born citizen for it's called foreign birther in Ireland, and I've had that most of my life, but the passport I let it lapse. But man, they made me jump through frickin' hoops in order to get this. I did it I think I did it in April or May, and they said I probably won't get the new passport until December.
Travis wants $10. We are a capitalist society in America with some social programs for those left behind. That, my friend, is not pure capitalism. That's kind of edging towards social democracy.
It is social
democracy. And I commend you for it.
Yeah.
Dude, and Medicare,
Social Security is socialism.
Yeah,
it is.
Medicare,
which we might not have much
works because it turns out you care about your neighbors. Go figure. Isn't that a strange concept? It has worked, and many across the world come here for economic security. You're under an illusion there I think some people flee. Right now in Ireland, we have a problem with people fleeing from war-torn countries and non-economic security running to Ireland. There are people out protesting that problem, asylum seekers and so on. It's not just America, it's anywhere that makes money. So stop with your fucking, take the flag out of your mouth.
No,
Sorry.
I see where he's coming from.
I know, but this illusion. Oh well, then why does everyone want to come to America?
Well, we
want to go to
far
rich
more
countries
less socialist.
anywhere in the world.
We're about to
America's
lose.
one of them.
We're about to lose everybody's, because Social Security was never meant to be your retirement fund, but Americans made it that. So you're supposed to have saved money. You're supposed to have a 401k. You're supposed to have made enough money. But now people are relying on that.
Daniel wants you to get Harvard.
People are now relying on Social Security as their retirement. But it's not supposed to be that, because you know what it is, kids? What's the top level on that? $1,775 a month. Yes, you can live off that in Italy. Thank you very much.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, and I will be doing that. But Paul's worked at the same job for 30 years, so he's got that as well. But we're about to run out. There's no money left.
Let's boil it down. Let's boil it down to some simple shit here. Some basic men on the ground shit. You, with your channel as it stands, you can live a nice life here in Italy. Could you live by only the money you're making from your channel, live a nice life in New York?
No.
Oh.
No.
You'd live a perfectly good life
here.
Side hustles. We'd meet every evening. Yeah, we'd meet every evening for spritz on the piazza.
I know.
And you'd live, and if you got sick, God forbid, you'd be taken care of in the hospitals and so on. Think about it
I had to wire four bars
level.
last week. I went to 4 different bars and wired up their PAs because I have side hustles galore.
Oh, you have side hustles going on?
Oh yeah, I have to. I mean, because I've committed myself 100% to iBashers as my job.
Yeah.
In order to make ends meet, I've got side hustles on the side. I have to, because I know this is going to eventually be amazing. Oh my God, Eddie, you're crazy!
Eddie's going to save your life.
Eddie, you just saved my life.
It doesn't matter whether capitalism or communism is better. By the way, for the record, neither of them are that good.
No.
There is no good system, but they're just different.
There's better systems.
In theory, there's system.
In theories, there's great systems.
The most popular politician by vote is Hugo Chavez, 87% of the vote, which Ambassador John Bolton responded by saying, "This ideology is a spreading virus in our hemisphere of equal opportunity." Man, listen, a lot of countries have failed for many different reasons, but anyway, he's got to pee. I think the gin's hitting him a little because he's getting fiery. We won't let him get too far, but this is good. You're still here. Fuck off. You're supposed to be peeing. We can't hear you. You muted yourself. Unmute. We can't hear you. Fuck off.
I'm not like drunk or anything. I'm just gin makes me fiery. Makes me want to fight.
Yeah, fighting Irish.
It makes me really Irish.
Yeah, it's coming out of you, man. Paddle power, you said it. Who cares?
Paddy power.
Fuck off to the bathroom. This fucker. He does a sneaky McSneakerton. Shane McGurk, €5. I'm bringing Eddie to Vegas. Yes, we will wear silver suits. Like in Swingers. Or is it Swinger? Yeah, Swingers. Vegas, baby. Vegas. Yeah, Vegas. They have casinos here. The first casino in the world is right here in Venice. We invented all this shit, guys. We know how crazy it can get. The word casino means a mess. That's when you want to say something's a mess. In Italian, you say it's a casino. They say casino. They lean in on the back half of the word, but it's the same word. That's where the word comes from. Isn't it funny? JHB, $20. Penguin was awesome. Did you finish it? I just saw the first episode. I liked it. It was interesting. The Sopranos of the DC. Oisin, you are correct on variations. Some countries have more social programs than others. Hey, listen, it just comes down to quality of life, I think, at the end of the day. Listen, the Italians complain all the time. The Irish complain. Everyone complains about their fucking country. They all have complaints about this and that. Jesus, you want to hear the Italians. They're sitting there with a cappuccino in their hand or a cigarette and a spritz sitting in a beautiful piazza, and they're there complaining about Italian life. You wouldn't believe it. Like, they're going on about their fucking government and all the rules, and they're not happy with this and they're not happy, and things would be better if, everybody's got a complaint. It's normal. I need Dirk here to do the ring-a-ding dings. Travis wants $5. I don't always agree on political policy. It's you, however, I respect your opinion. Listen, I lived in the United States for 20 years. I know a lot of great things about America, and I think it's a wonderful, wonderful country for very, very many reasons. Unfortunately, some people want to hear only good things, and if you say one bad thing, they think you hate the place. You don't. You just you're picking shit up. The Italians complain all the time. Dirk, you're going to get used to that if you move to Fano. You're going to hear people, old men in the piazza in Fano complaining over spritz. You're going to hear them complain.
I can't wait for them to complain.
Yeah.
Hey,
where are you guys, you shitheads?
They're in wine country.
Cheers.
Hey.
We're
Santa Barbara.
I need ice, by the way. I'll be right back.
What are you having, Sancerre? What are you having?
This is what is this? It's something local.
I forgot.
When you're up here, you get the whites.
Right.
I generally, when we walk into a tasting room or wineries, I ask, "What's the lightest Christmas white you have?"
Yeah.
The simpler whites.
Or the Pinots. Have you tried any Pinots?
You did.
Reds.
Pinot.
Yeah,
red.
Oh,
Pinot Noir.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with the. Listen, I like some of them. But I'm not gonna do that.
You could drink that. You're just off the Bordeaux, baby.
Yeah, we had Bordeaux last night.
Oh, you did? I know. I saw the Esternel. Did you see that, Ush?
I saw it. 1990 was it great?
1990. It was fantastic. We actually still have half a bottle at the hotel. We didn't finish it last night.
You didn't finish the bottle?
We didn't.
We had been, in fairness, drinking and
Tequila.
not like all day.
So I was supposed to be just doing this for the whole time, and we got sidetracked, and there was a whole mezcal situation, and I couldn't say no.
Oh boy! Wow.
We thought we'd phone in. Phone in
because we got very political
to break up the fight.
Just to break up. Just say, listen, lads. Socialism, communism is the end goal. Socialism is the road to get there. Somebody was asking what the definitional difference was. But even besides that, let's all be cool, man. Look, it's a beautiful day here in Santa Barbara, California.
Dana, what are you drinking?
Something the same.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh, you weren't here, I think, when Oisin asked. When we walked in, we're in a tasting room. We're
in a tasting room. You won't find that in communism.
There's no tasting rooms in Italy, I have to say.
No, of course there's. You know what? Italy is a tasting room.
Yeah, it's all a tasting room.
There you go. Now,
have you been going around vineyards specifically, or just?
No, we haven't been to the vineyards. We tasting rooms in the town. We're downtown Santa Barbara.
We're in an area.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
We're downtown Santa Barbara. So there's all these tasting rooms, and they're connected to wineries in the area, but they're not the wineries themselves.
Yeah.
And Santa Barbara is like unbelievable. I mean, there's a reason why millionaires live up here.
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's nice. Are you going to the hitching post?
It's now called Sideways.
No,
It's
no, no. The
not.
hitching post is still the hitching post.
No,
Oh, it is. I thought.
you're thinking of the hotel. The hotel is now called the Sideways Inn.
It was
Oh, that's so.
called the windmill.
Why did they do that?
It was called the Windmill
In the movie, it's called the windmill. They still have a windmill there, but it's called the Sideways Inn.
Okay, did
The
you go
hitching
there?
post is still the
Yeah, we've stayed there.
a restaurant up there.
Oh,
But no,
did you
we're
drink the
actually
Merlot?
We did. Dude, we did. Well, we had. That was Pomerol last night, right?
No, that's San
San
Julian.
Steph.
Oh, San
San-
Steph. Right.
San
San
Julian?
Steph. Yeah, San Steph. Yeah. Sorry.
Uh,
Côte d'Esternal is San Steph. That's gorgeous. Oh God, yeah.
It was very nice. I have to say.
I don't totally remember it.
Oh, that's the problem with great wines. And you guys listen, you're 15 years married. Congratulations,
15 years.
guys. 15 years married. And you got
Can't believe it.
tanked. And you know what? You should never order a great Bordeaux when you're tanked.
Emmett said that.
And you know it. And you know it.
You can finish it. It's still going to be good today.
Yeah.
So
No, we're gonna
you're
have
it
Oh, we'll have
tonight.
it.
It'll still be good.
Well,
Just don't wait
tonight-
till tomorrow. Today's the last day.
Tomorrow it's
Yeah,
salad
no,
dressing.
No, we'll drink it today.
In an hour and a
Yeah.
half, we have a Japanese tasting menu.
An omakase situation.
Omakase.
Are you gonna do? Are you gonna? Is it? Yeah. Or is it with food?
With food, yeah, no, it's a 7-8 course.
It's an 8-course tasting menu.
It's kind of like Nobu kind of vibe.
With sake?
Yeah.
There'll be sake.
Oh
yeah.
my
Are you guys
God,
gonna
I
drink
love
sake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
We
that.
basically
love
just
it.
trying to mix as much as we possibly can.
I would rather kill myself than ever drink sake.
My
Sake,
favorite
yeah.
thing on the earth is a sake wine pairing, a sake pairing with a meal.
You know what 2 words I'm gonna put together right now?
Well,
Fucking
Tony
you.
Bruno.
Why?
Because when I went to your birthday party 800 years ago, and Tony Bruno was there, and I'd known who he was, and he knew who I was, but we'd never met. We started talking kiss, and he's like, dude, sake. I'm like, oh, no, I don't drink that. He's like, no, he made me drink sake. That is one of the drunkest I've ever been in my life.
I love
That
that
was
shit.
kimchi.
I was hammered.
It's not
In-
that
in
strong.
in
But
fairness,
Tony Bruno, he's a monster. He's a beast.
I feel like most
Sure.
people can say that when they were with Tony Bruno,
it was the
one of
drunkest they've ever been. The
He
drunkest I've ever
destroyed
been.
me
I've
because
been
he's
with
like,
Tony.
dude, fucking Ace Frehley's lead guitar solo on Love Her All I Can, sake. Oh my God, that live version of fucking Budokan, sake.
biggest
And he-
mistake,
Sake is
the
amazing.
biggest mistake you can make is trying to go toe to toe with Tony Bruno.
I
I've
wasn't
done it.
trying
I've
to.
done
He's
it.
He's made of something else. He's made of other stuff. I don't know
Fuck
what it
that
is.
shit. I drank that fucker under the table in Brooklyn a
Well,
couple of times. Fuck
that's
that shit.
you.
That's the problem.
I don't know what that is. Look at the beautiful.
You don't know
girls.
about that? I fucking know about that. Tony Bruno looked at me. It was a bar right under his apartment, and he looks at me and he goes, "Man, I'm fucking drunk. I think I gotta go to bed." Think about that.
Dana and Emmett are not in a communism place.
No.
Here, I'll take you in quick.
We're living in the
Droopy
free
goes,
world.
it's Dirk Gin time again. Oh, look at this. Oh, man. This
There's
looks
a
like
band.
There's a band. You going to sit in?
Are you gonna sit in? They wanna...
We're gonna skip out of here.
I'm drinking gin, you guys.
No, I thought that was a joke.
He is.
Wait, what?
He is.
Why do you want to get divorced from Paul tonight?
Because I'm on keto, honey pie. I want to be like you.
Have you turned into a monster yet?
Yeah.
And I haven't turned into the monster yet, but it's
Oh my
close.
god, end the stream immediately.
The last time I drank gin was I was drinking it. I was down in Ulysses with Emmett, and we were drinking. And then when I left, I picked a fight with a guy on the subway.
Yeah. Which one
Yeah,
are you drinking? Are you drinking it all? You weren't drinking a while ago, right? You
No,
were
I'm
off
just
the
having
sauce.
a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of Jameson.
You were off the
just-
sauce for a while, right?
Yeah, but I have a cold and I had some hot water with a hot toddy just because I have 4 hours of streaming to get through. That's 5 hours now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's exactly what.
Dude, look at your bride. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but Emmett looks
she's
skinny
gorgeous.
too. Emmett looks.
He looks
skinny
great.
too.
But Dana, you are gorgeous.
You're going back to
My
1998.
God, I was looking because I was looking at a Facebook that reminds me of their wedding today because
Yeah.
and I was looking at those pictures. I'm like, she looks the same, exactly the same right now.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
know.
God,
Isn't it
not
freaky?
quite.
You do.
15 years. 15
You look
years, guys.
exactly the same.
Ugh. God
Outrage.
bless.
You lucky bastard, you. Jesus. What's in
Look,
your glass? Is that tequila?
No,
Oh,
it's
he's something
wine,
white.
but there's a lot of seltzer in there.
Good boy. Good boy. Good boy.
Dude, I'm trying to I'm trying to make it happen. I was drinking mezcal yesterday. This is my vibe right now.
Fair enough.
Mezcal. Ugh, that tastes like a fucking ashtray. Blech.
So good, man.
So good.
You guys are hard. You remember we went to Emmett's birthday party at that mezcal bar? You were dating the model from the Robert Palmer videos.
Yes.
She was a fun chick, that girl. But
Yeah,
I
you
remember Emmett's like, oh, you got to taste it. It's amazing. And I was like, oh my God, it tastes like Paul's ashtray.
That was Emmett's 40th.
That was my 40th, yeah.
That was his 40th. That was a good party, actually. Rob Flores was there. There's a lot of cool people there.
Rob Flores.
Yeah.
For people who
amazing.
don't know, he's an amazing keyboard player that played with Emmett in the Enrique Iglesias band. Incredible musician.
Probably one of the best drunk hangs you could have.
Yeah, he's a very, very cool dude. He's a legend. Where is he playing now?
Who's he playing with now? What's that? Oh, you got me a refund. He's playing with he played with for a long time. He played with the Black Crows.
Oh shit!
He was a member of the band, not just a side. He was a member.
That's like some serious Hammond.
Yeah, he's one of the great He has a Hammond organ and a B3 in his house, and he recorded B3 on Mr. North's last record. Yes. And Oisin said something along the lines when you were talking to him, if I remember correctly, he's saying like, "Oh yeah, I have a pretty decent B3 plugin," and Rob was like, "No, you don't."
I have a B3 plugin. Yeah, it's like I have a strap on.
And Rob records some shit, and Oisin's like, "I don't have to do anything to this. Just let it."
It was the first time in my life I never went back for revisions. I never said, "That's great, but can you try this?" Or it was just he just did it, and I was like, "Thank you." He was I was like, "I need a cake for a birthday," and he goes, "There's a chocolate cake."
Yeah, exactly.
It was just it.
Wow.
It was everything I needed. Everything.
The guy's amazing. He's an amazing musician.
So, what's the name of the place where you guys are?
It's called Corks.
Corks.
Corks and Crowns. Corks and Crowns in Santa Barbara.
Cork and Crown.
Corks and Crowns in Santa Barbara. Wow. Okay.
It's so daytime there. It's crazy because it's 8:30 at night here.
5:25 here.
Oh, that's cute.
It's 2:30 here, people.
Well, no.
2:30.
Beth knows what I'm doing right now.
2:30 in the morning for you? I mean, this is relatively early for us on iBashers Friday.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise.
What's your plans for the rest of the night?
We have a. There you go. That's it. That's the place. We have a dinner at 7. Japanese.
Oh.
Dude, that's
right. You're gonna do the Japanese thing.
I don't know that you were loud. I'm saying the background.
Oh.
It's so funny.
And that's what's in the photo.
You're sitting at that exact barrel.
Yeah, that's where we are. Santa Barbara. It's a whole other world up here.
Yeah, it's nice.
Whole other world.
Oh yeah, it's one of the most beautiful places in the United States for sure.
It's really lovely. There's a lot of wealthy people up here. A lot of watches.
What do you got?
Oh man,
lots of work. I saw a guy with a Santos, a Cartier Santos.
Yeah.
You never see. How many times do you see a dude with a Cartier Santos on?
I see
a lot of Santoses in New York. A lot.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Tell me you don't like that watch. You like that, Emmett?
I don't love the Santos.
It's too many screws, especially the two-tone.
Cartier tank, yeah, sure. All day.
Yeah.
But honestly, JLC do what Cartier want to do. For me.
Yeah, JLC.
Oh
is,
yeah. Oh well. Sure. I mean, listen, a tank Francesa.
I'll take a reverso over a tank any day.
Definitely.
Me too.
Definitely.
100%. But we want the ultra thin now. We're like totally Did you watch that the other night, dude? That watch is it's the deal breaker of the century.
The
That
ultra
watch
thin.
that Joshua Jackson had on at the Emmy Awards. Oh my god.
I didn't see that. No.
Oh my god. It's the ultimate men's. It's the Calatrava killer, man. That watch, that thing is crazy. Knocked out. Dictators. Gallery
Gallery.
are not in the communism place, but it looks like heaven on earth. It sure is, of course.
Yeah, no, there's no communism. Or so. This is the people sit on the top of the totem pole. Over.
So you just saw like a little wine shack?
You're right, Travis.
What are you guys wearing?
What?
What are we wearing? What's he wearing? What are you wearing, Dirk?
Speedy.
Are you doing Speedy? Nice.
I look so
what I'm wearing.
freckly right
Look what I'm
now.
wearing.
I know.
What's he wearing? He's wearing a sub.
Oh, are you wearing a Rolex Submariner? Is that what you're wearing? Oh, hold on. I don't think I have it here. Oh, I didn't. It's in the other room. I actually was wearing my Millie all day today, but I had every once in a while, because I just switched to blue screen for Sheen so we could see the mill gas.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just plug in my system and it won't work. The blue screen won't work. I have to revert. I'm on green screen again. It won't work because, like, I don't know if it's the daylight or whatever, but yeah. So that's why I had the mill gas on. I had to switch to this because it wouldn't have worked. It's great. How's that Sancerre?
He's not having a sunset.
It's not Sancerre. It's a.
I don't know. Actually.
Pinot Blanc.
It's a Pinot Blanc of some
Pinot
kind
Blanc.
of-
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It looks very straw-like.
It's perfectly respectable. It doesn't move mountains. Doesn't offend.
You just need to dump a bunch of ice and some seltzer.
That's what I do. I've been drinking. I've been putting. I'm a seltzer, but the seltzer.
Is it hot there? Is it hot there right now?
No, it's actually like 70 degrees.
Oh, nice. Very
Gorgeous.
nice. But the same here. But the same.
It was 71 here today, gray and humid as F.
Oh no, there's no humidity here.
Gross. No, you're right on the water there.
Right on the water, but the Pacific doesn't put off humidity. It's cold water.
I know. Why is that? Like, people, like, you think about all those movies like Gidget and Moondoggie and all those surf movies. How did they ever get in that water? It's freezing.
Wetsuits.
I mean, they were all shirtless.
Once you get in,
you watch that shit? I remember I put my foot in the Pacific and I went, what the fuck? It was freezing. Is she wheeling and dealing on the phone right now?
No, she just doesn't want to be on camera. She's like over it.
You don't want to be on camera.
No, it's just awkward.
But everybody wants you on camera.
I know. Everybody wants Dana.
Look at that.
We will sign off though.
All right.
Yeah. Go have a fun
Go
time.
do your beautiful 15th anniversary and enjoy.
Thank you guys.
Happy anniversary, guys.
Dirk,
I'll see you
when the gin has fully set in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I get arrested?
Yeah, when he gets fucking angry.
Don't leave the house.
If you need bail money, let us know.
No, I just want to make sure that I'm not mean to Paul when he comes home.
So I'm gonna see you guys in a month.
Let me know the deets. Yeah, please.
I will. Once I know the deets, you'll know the deets. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Can't
Love you
wait.
guys.
Love you guys.
Have
Thank you
fun.
so much for letting us crash the party.
Open
Ciao, ciao.
invite, baby.
Good night, boys.
Bye now.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Oh, aren't they the cutest?
Lovely. He looks slimmer too.
Because
Compare them. Jesus Christ.
because his wife is now an absolute ridiculous ride again, so he's probably just like trying to keep up with the Joneses. But Emmett's always been great at fucking. But we're
Yeah,
all in that.
he's
boat.
very disciplined when he wants to
Yeah.
lose a few pounds.
Yeah.
I've never seen
You
anyone so
too, though.
disciplined.
You
No,
too.
but he's even more like he'll be like, oh, I'll just have an apple. And he won't make a big deal. You know the thing about Emmett, he won't fucking talk about it. You know, when people go on a diet, they fucking need to tell the world they're on a diet. I suffer from that a little bit too. You need to tell
I
everybody.
told the Bashers.
Okay, because it's that's your show. You've got to tell people what's happening. But like some people are, this the whole thing. Emmett just doesn't talk about it. There's nothing, and he starts fucking losing weight. And you're like, "Are you on a diet?" And he's like, "I have been. Yeah, the past couple of months, just having an apple for lunch." And I'm like, you what the sneaky
Dude, let me tell you
dude.
something about him. And you know, he of course he's a great looking fella, but like I know so many girls that have told me, "Is that your friend?" Back in the day, "Is that your friend?" I'm like, "Yes, my friend." I'm like, they're so girls love the big bald guys. They fucking
You know
love
who
that shit.
really, really. I shouldn't say this though because Dana might watch this
She
later.
doesn't care.
Mate,
Who doesn't
fucking-
want to know that their man is wanted?
the Staten Island girl, the fucking crazy bitch.
I wouldn't doubt it, but
She
that's
had
terrible
mad hots
because she
for
was
him.
with you, though. That's even worse. Your brother's
okay.
hot. That's gross. I'd punch her in the face. That's terrible.
No, I don't care. I'm very fucking secure.
I know you
about
don't
that.
care.
I
but-
don't give a shit about
No,
anything.
but it's just like
I
that's a
take it as
very
a
ballsy
compliment.
thing
I'm
to
like,
say.
yeah, my fucking brother's fucking cool. Yeah.
He's a great looking guy. Obviously,
I'm very,
this
very
crazy baby
secure
blue.
in that shit. I don't get jealous.
Oh no.
I
But
don't.
I just think
It's
it's a bit.
impossible.
It's a little out of order for a girl that you're with to say your brother's.
Yeah,
hot.
2 hours later, she's screaming because I'm pounding the shit right. I don't have a problem.
Hold on a second. Hold on, wait. That deserves a. Let me find it. I wish I had this shit fast enough. Oh, I know. I ruined it by not having fast enough.
It's all right. It's all right.
Hold on.
No, you didn't ruin anything. It's fine. It's just,
Not tomorrow, not after breakfast, now.
Oh my God! The children are present.
It's a family show.
It's a family show. You can't talk about copulation and stuff. My God in heaven. Travis Watts, $5. We all grow up. Oh, whoa.
Oops,
Oh,
that's me.
That's us both having our fingers on the trigger. Okay, I'll let you go. I'll just sit here.
No, you go. You go.
No, I'm a hyper lunatic. Gin makes me crazy, bro. Look at me.
You all right?
Oh no, I'm grand, but like you know how you used to say that vodka makes you're ready to go, it brings you up.
Yeah, I'll
And
get
people say,
fight.
"Oh, alcohol is a depressant." No, because
No.
if I had wine right now, I'd be like, you know what I love? Blah, blah,
I
blah.
remember one day when
I love clouds, cumulonimbus. But like now I've had like, a couple of these little gin and seltzers, and I'm like, I want to just go. I want to go. I look like Al Pacino in Cruising. Did you ever watch that with his bad dancing? Where he's going like this? Like, that's not sexy.
Can I see that dance again?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Oh God.
Do you ever watch that scene in Cruising where he's like with all the leather dudes and he's just going like this? It's the weirdest thing. I'm like, what is that? Now, believe me, I'm not trying to scare anybody, but when I first started doing the little, let me go check out what that life is all about, I went to a couple of scary places where people like that existed. And I was like, I got to get out of here. This is really scary. I ran like a little girl. I was afraid of all that shit. It was guys in tank tops and leather armbands. Oh my God, Andrew, you crazy person. For the power couple, happy anniversary. Crushing ain't touching and dreaming ain't doing. Live your dreams together.
That's nice. I hope they see that. They probably saw that. They were probably watching. Sorry, we didn't pull that up while they were on the screen. That's remiss.
$50. I could have slept with Leonard Bernstein. I just didn't because I was too young and stupid.
You could have slept with him?
Yeah. I met Leonard Bernstein when I was like 16.
Oh, and he fancied you?
He was very flirtatious with me because I went there because Marty Lawrence brought us in there for a little musical symposium with him. And
yeah, you were a pretty little Irish boy.
I was very skinny and pretty.
Perfect fucking nose.
Yeah.
I was always jealous. I'm always jealous of your nose. You have a beautiful, perfect fucking...
I have the nose that every girl wants.
Yeah.
It's a little upturned, but not too much. And, and I had no facial hair and I was smooth and pretty and I had longish reddish hair and everybody's like, oh, I was like the perfect bottom, but that just wasn't my thing. And he was just totally like looking to do that. But like, I was so interested in him as an artist.
I need to get through these. These are super.
Sorry.
But it's okay. Happy anniversary, just so they see it because maybe they're watching or they'll watch
Happy
later.
anniversary. We love you guys.
Congratulations to fantastic
people. I couldn't love people more than I love them.
Or she can come to Florida. I might, while I'm over there, I might pop down to Florida.
You're going to go hang out with Roman Schroff and work on the design for the new Trump watch?
No, I have people to see down there.
Oh, you do.
M is
Oh.
slim. Yeah, he looks slim in the
He
face
does
for
look good.
sure. Eddie, 20 bucks. Happy anniversary,
Aw.
O'Malley's. It's dissent, not decent.
We
We
know
got
what
it.
you meant.
It's
We
okay, man.
totally
It's
got it.
okay.
He totally ran with dissent, not
I ran
decent.
with dissent. That's fine.
He did.
I'm coming off a 2-month coke binge. Shamed. Lost both of my parents in June.
Oh
Jesus.
God, what?
Wow, this is going crazy here. Lost it for a second. My brain is scrambled still. I take pride in grammar. I am a writer. Listen, I totally got that it was dissent. Dude, don't
We
worry.
totally did. I'm so sorry to hear that, Eddie.
Sorry, Eddie.
Dude, do me a favor, because you know how this show goes. Send me an email at basherdirk@gmail.com. That's basherdirk@gmail.com. So I have an idea of what you're going through. Because like I'm not Dr. Phil or any of that shit, but if you watch my regular content, it's like a place where people come and we talk about our lives and our pets and our life. It's that. Friday night is when we're like fucking communism and whatever.
Yeah, we just get crazy.
I'm drinking gin and being an asshole. But dude, we're so sorry. Oh my God.
Dirk lost both of his parents within a year.
Yeah.
Is that
14
just
months.
over
14
months? Yeah.
Yeah. My mom died, and my dad just said, "You know what? I'm done punching that ticket."
Right.
Why did he want to live without his wife? My parents were married for like 65 years.
Yeah.
My
father passed away over 20 years ago, and
I remember that day.
My
I
mom's
was
still
thinking of
going.
it today.
Really?
I was thinking because I was out with Colin.
You came over with Colin with a bottle of beautiful cognac.
We went to Paul Huston, who didn't have multiple sclerosis yet. Yes. Our mutual friend, has a beautiful wine store and beautiful vintages of all kinds of stuff. And he got a call, Colin, his singer, his second cousin. And we found out that Oisin and Emmett's dad died. And he said, we have to go over there. And I said, okay. We went and we got a cognac. And we went over there. And I didn't know you all that well yet.
Yeah. It was a bottle of Pierre Girard. And it was beautiful. And we had a bunch of shots. And then I closed the bottle. You guys went home. And I left the bottle. I left the amount of shots we had. I left it there. And that bottle sat in my apartment for years. And then when I moved to Brooklyn, into that big fancy place that I made all crazy, I had a big wild party. And there was some sommelier who was there who wound up at the party. I didn't even know this guy. And he was working for some restaurant in New York. And he goes, I saw you have that bottle. Do you mind if I take a taste? And I said, as long as you finish it with me. And he goes, fuck yeah, okay. And it was only about that much left. But I told him the story why. And he was like, oh my God, this is great. And it was, but I left that bottle frozen in time for several years. Yeah. It was a great bottle. It was a great gesture of both of you to come over.
No, I remember because
you know what? When a parent passes away, you need a fucking drink. Do you know what I mean? I needed that.
Dude, the day my mom was really not well for a long time, she wasn't in her right mind. So I was over there all the time for whatever. And everybody used to say, because she was, she thought my name was Raoul. And she thought I worked at this facility, but we were in our own home. But my dad was as sharp as a tack. And I was way closer to my mom. But in my later years, my dad and I did not have a very good upbringing, because I was a rock and roller. He thought I was on drugs. I've never tried any drugs in my life. He always thought I was a drug addict and I was a rock and roller. But as we got older, my dad and I got an amazing relationship. When my mom passed away, it was horrible and we were all very sad. But I'll never forget the shock of the day that I got that phone call that my dad wasn't feeling so good. He went to the hospital. I didn't think anything of it. My brother called and he said, Daddy died. And I just remember sitting there, and then Paul opened up a bottle of wine and we just sat there, and I sat in silence for about 2.5 hours because I could not wrap my fucking head around it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to even figure out. Those spells are going to come back, by the way, as you move around.
They do all the time.
Yeah,
they do all the time. Because in the interim, while my parents were, my mom was kind of a cuckoo mess and my dad was old, and they have medical issues, and my sister was overwhelmed because she lived in their house. And when you are the person that lives with them, your life is a living hell. and
Sure.
you are constantly on the clock, and you are the primary caregiver. And my sister Pat is a fucking angel. What she did, what my sister Pat did for my parents is outrageous. And the funny thing is, my sister Pat and my father were estranged for years because she disappeared because she was, when teenagers, she got married, and my father didn't approve because my father was kind of a racist. And
Old
he really
Irish,
wasn't, but he was. And they got back together because my father always loved her more than anything. Dirk Gin, I coined it. That's funny. Thank you, Daniel. Anyway, my dad and I got so close at the, in my adult life. Oh shit,
Eddie,
Dana,
$50
for Palestine.
for Palestine. Nice.
We should just. I wish there was a direct, like a deposit box for Palestine. But
I'm contacted every single day by people, but I don't know if it's real or not, and I need to talk to Blakely. If I'm
There isn't. I looked into it too. There is no way.
No, Blakely knows all the real ones, because there's a lot of people trying to fucking skim that money and stuff, and they're nothing to do with it. So they know who is real and who isn't. Eddie, $50. Thank you so much.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Eddie. Yeah, so like we listen, he lost. Thank God his mom is she's so young at heart and so healthy and hearty, and she's one of the most beautiful people I've ever known in my life.
Who?
Jer.
Oh, my mom. Okay.
Yeah, your mom.
Yeah, she's still trucking on, man.
She's trucking on. She's still pretty young, though.
She's a force.
She's still pretty young. I gotta say.
I'm gonna see her on the way, by the way.
Of course you should.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
By the way, I love flying Aer Lingus first class. That's one of my other things.
Who doesn't?
I don't want to fucking fly from here over to there. I want to go through Dublin.
Yeah,
I want to spend 2 nights, and I want to see some friends while I'm there, and see my mom, and then I'll jump. I'll go to New York. New York's first stop and third stop, by the way. I'm coming back through. I've a lot of shit to deal with in New York, man. I gotta go to my storage unit.
Do you want to take your base home with you? You should.
I'm still deliberating about that.
I mean, you probably listen. Thank you so much. I loved having it here, but dude, you need to have your base with you.
I don't even have any base here at all. I haven't touched it.
I don't even believe that's
crazy.
True.
No, I think Emmett's afraid I'll fucking steal the P base off in LA.
Nah, you should take your Rick. It's yours, and I mean, like,
here's my problem: is like packing it on the plane. I don't want those guys.
Not pack it. You have to carry that on.
So I'll bring in a soft case.
You're gonna fly Aer Lingus from Ireland. They'll let you carry it on.
I'll bring in a soft case.
Yeah, just put it in a soft case. I might have. Oh God, I have a base soft case.
Oh, don't worry.
I'll
pick one up. That's not a problem.
I think I do have one of those.
I'm just thinking. I don't want to check the thing.
I mean, you should.
She's so delicate, Travis lost $5. I lost my little brother at 47 years old a year ago tomorrow. Ooh, shit.
Travis.
Loss is hard. Prayers for you. Eddie, absolutely. Travis, sorry to hear that. Is there
do a memorial or a
thing happening? Hey, shit, man. If there isn't, just open up your favorite bottle in his memory and toast his memory. I hope people do that for me when I
go to his favorite haunts. Go to the places where the people knew him. My dad was like a secret. He was a drunk. My father drank beer, but my father was a regular at bars. Me and my sister used to go. Kerry and I used to go and sit in the bar and just like soak it up. Feel him.
Right.
Yeah,
right. That's a great idea.
I'll never have that again. Like
one of his haunts, one of his favorite bars, or his favorite record, his favorite songs.
Oh, my parents' taste in music was the worst, dude. The worst.
Panel Power says Ihawa. That means good night. Good night.
Oh, thanks, Panel Power. My parents listened to fucking Clancy Brothers and fucking Irish Rovers, and it's just like, and that's it.
John,
There
I'm
was
sitting here drinking Italian wine, wearing a Swiss watch. John just got a new watch.
don't tell them.
Watching an Irishman in Italy and America on a computer made in China. The world is a beautiful place. Great show, Dirk and Oisin. Condolences to Eddie. Thanks,
China.
John. Thanks, John. John just got a new job as well. He shifted job. I can't give away too much, but I saw his badge and it's intimidating. Let's put it that way.
Like you would be afraid.
I saw his badge and his gun and his watch next to each other, and I'm like, yeah, Oisin, you're kind of fucking no one. you're unconsequential in this world. You know.
Do you have any badges? I have no badges. I have Boy Scout badges.
You think anybody would put me in charge of anything? Are you kidding me? Never.
That's hilarious.
I'm too fucking wild. No,
Andrew, $20. Oisin, grab your ma and some Pall Mall. How did you know about Pall Malls?
Well, I probably broadcast it quite publicly. He's heard it. He's heard me say.
Have you said Pall Malls?
And I can't get Pall Malls here.
Oh,
they don't sell them in Italy anymore. They don't sell them in Italy anymore. And a friend of the channel was going to bring over some Pall Malls, but he never did.
For Jer, fuck, no, I'm on a mission, bitch. I'll never forget.
There was a chat I bought. I was going to fly to Ireland last Christmas, and it fell through at the last minute. But I had bought 3 big sticks, like 600 cigarettes for my ma, and they weren't Pall Malls. They were her second choice, whatever they are.
Benson and Hedges.
They were those, or they were the
Still cut.
I don't know what they were. I'm not a cigarette smoker. Anyway, maybe they're whatever. So anyway, I had them here in the house, and then an Irish chap came to Venice by himself. He's an interesting guy, and he supported the channel and stuff. He's like, hey, so we ended up like a corner pub, and he was flying back the next day, and I was like, can you do me a favor and bring me these smokes? He said, absolutely. And a couple of days later, he arrived at my ma's house, and he goes, these are from Oisin. There you go. 600 smokes. She's like, oh, fucking great, you know, because they're so expensive in Ireland. Like smokes,
I mean,
a packet of smokes in Ireland
Italy
is
are cheap, but here they're insanely expensive.
So how much is a packet of 20 smokes?
$20.
Okay, so they're 15 euros in Ireland.
Okay,
so that's about $17. You know how much they are here? 6
€3.
euros.
No, because the last time we were in Italy, Paul bought a pack of Marlboros. They were €3.50.
They're about $5.56.
I bought a carton for Dana because we were at the Excelsior, and she just fucking threw a $300 pair of Ray-Bans at me, and I was like, "I'm gonna get you some cigarettes," and I got her a carton. It was €100.
A carton here is $60, 55 or 60.
Oh, is that only because it was across the street from the fucking Excelsior? So I got ripped off. I was like, oh my God, those are so cheap.
I know that tabacaria. I was just there the other day. I know exactly what tabacaria you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's the only one there.
It's the only one there.
I bought these right there.
Yeah,
that crazy is that? I just bought those right there.
That place right
I went back into my
on Marconi.
Place.
It's right there on the side street.
I went back. Boom. I went back, by the way, for
and
the
old Strega is in there. The Strega Vecchia is in there.
Oh, they're great.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love the tobacco. You can go in there and you can get
the best people on earth here are in the tabacaria. They know your pain. They know your pain. They know what you're feeling.
Paul loves to talk about Francobolli or getting fucking stamps in Italy.
What do you mean?
Francobolli.
Yeah. For
stamps.
What?
Because that's where you buy stamps in Italy.
Oh, a stamp for a letter.
Yeah, okay. For a letter, yeah.
Yeah.
You buy them at the tobacceria. I'm like, wait a minute. This is 1,000 years ago. I said, so where's the post office? He goes, what do you need? I said, stamps for my postcards. He goes, no, you go to the tobacceria. I didn't know that.
So the tabaccerias here, they sell Francobolli. They sell obviously every cigarette and cigar, and they sell children's toys sometimes. Because in the front window they can't show cigarettes or tobacco. So they put children's toys in the front window. It's kind of weird. And they sell tickets for the bus and stuff.
Yeah. You can get that. What is
They're very functional. Oh. You find a lot of tabaccerias in train stations here. They're like the basic needs that you need. You need your ticket and you need a smoke.
Paul's such an old school Ginzo. Do you know what Gittone are?
Gettoni are a little thing that you put in a machine to get through. So like a token.
That's what you used to put
token.
in the token. They're tokens for the telephone. So like old
Gettone is a
payphones.
token, yeah.
So like when in 1999, when Paul and I were like kind of stranded in Florence and we were going to Venice, and my travel agency screwed up our reservation. That's how we wound up at the Debat because of my brother. My brother totally fixed that for me. I had to go to the Francobolli and get Gettone so I could feed it into the payphone in the park because it was a 1-800 number and you couldn't call that from Italy. I had to call my brother to get him. It was amazing. And it was these cute little tokens. They were amazing. Do they still have such a thing in Italy? For any reason? I guess they wouldn't, right? So cards now, tapping.
Yeah.
The whole world tapped before America tapped.
I don't know. I haven't gotten a Gettone for anything in a long, long time.
Yeah.
It's a good question, actually.
That's crazy. Andrew Wolkowicz says, Oisin, grab your ma some Pall Malls before. Oh, you did that already, right? But I didn't give anybody I'm going to give you guys all a big bang. Boom. Do not apologize for feelings or feeling sad ever, Eddie. No, you should never, dude. Please use my email address and let me know what you're going. Look, dude, that's what we're here for. Because listen, we can sit here and drink and be dickheads and talk about politics and watches and cats and all that shit. But it matters. And Eddie, you've been a pretty spectacular basher. So. Like you're going through something like that. He's been through it. I've been through it. I mean, if I can help, but I will say this, dude, I've never cried so hard than when my cat died. My parents died. I never cried. I never cried because I had conversations with my parents. I knew where they stood. I knew where they were going. I knew that we wrapped up our love and our affection. But like when my cat and my dog died, it's like we had so much left to say. You can't ever voice, because they don't know what you're saying. It's really sad. But Eddie, man, please come on.
No, come on, Eddie. It's all good.
It's all
whatever you need, man. John, $10.
Hey, John.
The watch is no secret. It's a Rolex SD40.
Oh, you're right. All right.
New
so you
job.
got to see the red line.
You got the red line, the one that Mehdi Hassan on last night. So still a bit hush. Yeah. There's no change there. Don't sell yourself short. Art is more important than anything, right?
not always, dude.
I don't know, man. But
I don't do. I think because both of us are loser artists, I don't think we agree. We're like, what you do is very important.
Well, maybe I influenced him about the SD43. But
did you recommend that?
Not important. No,
I didn't know.
No, in fairness, he found his own way to the SD43. It's not like I get a million messages every week. I bought that watch because of you. I don't think that was the case with John. He just he's been wandering his way through the map of Rolex for a while, and
no, I know.
He almost got a Speedy the other day, but the gods said no.
God said no.
And then he just went, you know what? In reflection, first of all, he doesn't have a small wrist, our John. I was under the impression he has a decent sized wrist. So I saw he sent me a little wrist roll shot of it. I was like, no, that's perfect. He's definitely over 7-inch wrist for sure.
I have 7.25 and I've tried on a 7.
Yeah, he's got about your size wrist or a little bigger.
Oh, does that mean I can wear 43? Oh, wow.
He lifts a lot of weight. He's very fit.
Oh, he's very fit.
He's in the gym.
I don't do that.
He has abs. I don't have abs. I haven't had abs since I was 3 years old.
And meanwhile, Paul had an 8-pack his entire life without ever doing a sit-up. Just some people are genetically graced. You know, if I wanted a 6-pack, I would have to do this keto thing for the next 3 years, and get a personal trainer. Just never gonna happen. Gallery with 5 balloons. Dirk, how many cats and dogs you and Paul are getting when moving to? Well, okay, so obviously I'm in no state to even contemplate that. I have a life right now that is very weird, where it's like I can basically go do what I want, and it's very hard to not. I mean, I care for Rose, but like having somebody to come home to It's very weird. I will never get another animal until I am in Italy. I swear to God, I will never do it.
Well, I come babysit them, sure.
Yeah, and yeah, he would. But like, it won't make any sense because he'll be there or we'll be there. It doesn't.
They won't go away though.
No,
they'll get their
So,
place with their garden and their.
listen, I'll go
cats and
find a
dogs.
scamp and you know, and I don't know about a dog.
By the way, Blakely, who was on the show last week,
Sure.
they with respect, they were saying they have a huge mouse issue in their apartment in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Huge. And they were asking, like, what should we do? And they tried everything, and they had exterminators over, and nobody could do anything. And everyone was saying,
Exterminators are the worst.
yeah,
Poison.
Well, I said, everyone was saying cat. And as I got through the video, I said, you know what? You need more than one. You need 2 cats. And you need cats
so
that are
careful
not
though,
kittens.
because the poison gets put out, and then the mice eats the poison, and the cat hits the mouse, and then secondary poisoning.
So they have a huge problem. They have mouse shit in everything.
Well, then they can't get it. They can't because there's poison everywhere. So you know what? I swear to God, you know what? I had a mouse problem, and I don't have one now because I bought one of those stupid Sonic things, and I plugged it into my kitchen where the mice were. I've not seen a mouse in about a month.
Okay, so you need to reach out to
hook me up with her. I will listen.
Yeah.
Because listen, at the end of the day, when she was 3 years old, she almost died because she was secondary poisoned.
Yes,
she was totally poisoned by my landlord this time around because they.
But don't the mice hear the cat and feel the cat around?
Cat, Oisin, cats.
I know they're stealth.
They're so, and like she would sit there like a statue. And then wait, and then in one pounce, be on top of it. They have no idea. Cats are, mice are like. One time I was in the bathroom, my apartment, right next to the kitchen, and there was a mouse there, and I'm staring at it, and I moved a little bit. He had no idea I was there. So they are kind of blind in a way. They can see certain things, but he had no idea I was there. And then when I jerkily moved, he ran. But cats are so smooth, man. Yeah. Cats are they're the ultimate killing machines.
Yeah, they are.
They are. They're just and like
I said you need 2 fucking cats because Blakely is an animal lover anyway, so that'll be great anyway. It'll be a good home. Yeah. And they have to you don't get kittens, you can't sit around and wait. Go to a shelter and find 2 male cats and make sure their claws aren't removed. Because they need their claws to catch the goddamn things.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
You're bringing in a predator into the environment.
Yeah.
And then you have 2 of these beautiful stoic animals around your house. Come on. What's not to love? As long as the dogs, because Blakely is a big lover of dachshunds or I don't know which dogs they love, but just like, I think they have 2 dogs.
You know what? Like breeds. Like, listen, I grew up with Irish wolfhounds, and that they're great. My sister's dying to get more, but she needs more land. Listen, you know what? Like, and this is the only time I will defer to Oisin Omalley's principles on keeping an animal.
That's the only time.
Yeah, because I disagree.
Because we disagree with everything.
But I grew up in Queens in a very large house with a backyard and all that stuff. But I grew up with 2 Irish wolfhounds. They're the largest breed of dog in the world. What did we do every day? We took them to the field at the high school and let them just run until they were going to die. And because you needed to do that. But like when it comes to dogs, I don't feel that way about cats because honestly, cats are so domesticated at this point and they're such opportunists. They're like, yeah, food and pillows. Yes. They don't care about the mice and all that shit. They want to jump on all the stuff. But dogs totally need to run every day and they need to chase birds and all of that shit. So for me, I don't think I could ever get another dog. And I grew up with a beautiful, the largest breed of dogs in the world, and I love them. Gentle when stroked, fierce when provoked. That's their mantra. and they're great, but you need a farm or a field for them because they're so natural. They want to hunt, and they need that for their soul.
Unhappy. They're unhappy unless
They
they
are
can
unhappy.
run
Cats don't
all
give a shit.
day
They're like,
long.
ooh, those temptations, rub my belly. Cats don't give a shit because cats are so domesticated at this point because cats are opportunists. They know he's going to feed me and rub me. Dogs aren't. Dogs are like, huh, I want to run. I want to jump. I want to fish. I want to pet. I want a bird. I want to pet. I want to pet. So, like, I mean, I had a dog in here for 17 years and she was the greatest thing and I loved her to death. But, like, she needed a field. So I get you on that. I do. I do get you on that. Cats, not so much. Cats don't give a fuck. Cats are like, as long as I've got
Luckily
food,
for
and if
cats,
there's a
they can
mouse, I'll
crawl.
eat it. Sorry.
I would get a cat if there was an easy access to a tree next to the window that they could get out every day and just go and fucking do their shit, you know?
Yeah, well, you make a tree.
Because
That's
cats
what we
will
do.
find a way. They'll crawl their way up a roof and stuff. A dog can't do that per dog. And a dog that can't run all day is a sad dog, and that's not.
No, dogs got to run. They got to run. Shay McGee says $5. Dirk, how many places have you walked into backwards and got in free and told them good night as you leave? This is what you do. You're like, okay, guys, thank you so much. Have a great night. See you later. Whose joke was that? Your joke the other day? That's somebody made that joke the other day, and I thought it was hilarious.
I like that.
Power. Panel Power. I thought you went to bed. Crack cocaine for guns. What would make anybody try crack?
Desperation, poverty, and desperation. I'll be back in a second.
Go. Listen, I'm a rock and roll guy. I've been around the block, but I've never done drugs because I'm afraid of them. But I've seen everybody do drugs, and guys in my band, guys who worked with the band, and I get it. I get the stress. I certainly would never, ever, ever judge anybody for doing that stuff because we all do what we do, right? We all do what we do. Everybody's got a different story, a different journey, and all that shit. And I hate that word journey. Sorry for fucking using that. But crack. That is like, we all know, like Whitney Houston was using crack. Whitney Houston, the golden voice of an era, of a generation. One of the most beautiful voices in the history of the world. And she was using crack cocaine. Like, listen, I've said this a million times. I've never tried cocaine, but if I did, I'm sure I would love it because I love caffeine and I just love being hyper, you know? I'm a Diet Coke addict. I'm a self-confessed Diet Coke addict. And coffee, I drink coffee like it's going out of style. It's crazy. I don't know. Panel Power. John says, Panel Power before my time. Gallery, $5. We have a Maine Coon. Oh, they're beautiful. The friendliest to you. The fiercest for all rotten creatures, even snakes. Maine Coons are amazing, and they're so huge. Panel Power says, if it wasn't for that Spanish customs guy, those TOWs that transported from Israel would have gotten to Iran to attack Iraq. Probably true. Frank Lamana, hey, congrats on the new watch. We're very excited. You got to unbox it on our show, kiddo. When are you going to unbox this thing? I haven't seen it. John, thanks, Frank Lamana. It took me long enough to figure out what I wanted. Kind of sounds like happenstance. Carrie Kenny, that's my sister. Mix 1 and 2 love their lives. They did, because we took them to Jamaica High School and we let them run their lives out. But you know, Carrie, more than anything, you know that if you had that beautiful place in the west of Ireland with your beautiful field, right, and you had your Irish Wolfhounds, because you will have that. My sister, out of all of us, my sister will return to the homeland. I'm going to go to Italy, but my sister is going. She has been called. My sister is going to return to the homeland, and she's going to have her manse and her Irish Wolfhounds and all that stuff, her geese, all that stuff. I know it. Rock and Roll Revive. What the fuck up, Liam, doing the Joshua fight? What does that mean? Oh, yeah, he sang at some stupid thing, right? I have no time for those guys. I don't give a shit. Now that they ripped everybody off, now I'm just grossed out by it.
Apple?
No, Oasis. I don't care.
Oasis.
Who cares? Who cares? Nobody cares. Those guys, now that like they came back, they helped save rock and roll, but all their fans got ripped off and they knew about it. It's a bunch of bullshit.
All right.
POTUS's son is addicted. The POTUS, the president of the United States, is addicted. What? So is
yeah, he's an addict. Yeah, big deal.
He's a big one, big time. Andrew says, "Live the dream." Yeah. Did I miss any of the super chats? I want to make sure I didn't miss any of them because it's we're at the 3 hour plus. Gabri Maine Coon. Look at this. I can do all this now. I think we should probably call it a night and say thank you to everybody for showing up for this amazing show. Thanks so much. Thanks for everybody who came in. Yeah, we got a little heavy at times, but it was super duper fun, and I think we had a good time. And I enjoyed the gin. Nathaniel Hannon, Andrew Wolkowicz, Carolyn Martin, Nathaniel Hannon, Angelo Minichello, Easy E, Daniel Gutierrez, Nathaniel Hannon, JHB, Eddie, Andrew Wolkowicz, Eddie again. You were on fire tonight, Eddie. We love you, man. Yeah. And email me at basherdirk@gmail.com because let's talk. Daniel Gutierrez, Andrew Wolkowicz, Shane McGee, Ray, Nathaniel Hannon, Eddie again. Legends, Travis Watts, John, man, we love you. Nathaniel Hannon, you're the best. Eddie, again, you're like a monster tonight. Gabari, John, Eddie. I think he topped himself from the last chat because he didn't do the one big one, but he did like several giant ones. Amazing.
Right.
Frank Lacamana, you're crazy. Lamana, thank you so much. Ash Fishbowl with $100. Wow, crazy. JHB, we love you, man. Andrew Wolkowicz, you're the best. Travis Watts, amazing. Dana O'Malley, what can I say? You're my girl. Daniel Gutierrez, Eddie with 50 more bucks, amazing. Shane McGee, $5. JHB, $19.99. Travis Watts, Daniel Gutierrez, Gabari, Travis Watts, JHB, Andrew Wolkowicz with $50. You're crazy. Eddie with $20. Holy crap. Shane McGee, Daniel Gutierrez, Eddie with another $50. Dana for Palestine, crazy. Travis Watts, John, 20 balloons. Holy macaroni. I'm running out of breath here. Andrew Wolkowicz, $20. John with $10. Gabari.
You got 55. I think I got 4 super chats. You got 55.
Gabari. This is crazy. Well, this was a fun night. I had a really good time. This was a great crowd. We had great chats. We can agree.
We didn't even talk about Colin Farrell. Okay.
We didn't talk about Colin Farrell. We could talk about that. We could do that. You want to talk about Colin Farrell? I haven't seen it yet. Can we talk about it when I see it? Yeah. I'll watch it. Okay. And I'll read a little bit. I'll brush up on my Karl Marx and then we'll talk.
Okay.
And then we'll know more about it. So I don't feel like I know what I know and that's what I know. And I don't feel like I know it from.
Know what I like and I like what I know.
Somebody asked me the other day, they said Oasis or Blur. And I was like, fucking Pulp. Why are you asking me that? You can think I gotta pick those tossers? I'm gonna pick fucking Jarvis
Cocker
100% of the time. Your sister's obsessed with him, and for good reason. He's fucking great, and he's a rock star. You know, he's amazing. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Andrew Wolkowicz. Oh yeah, I missed one last one. Make sure you're subscribed and upvote. Be an inspiration to others' lives and a blessing in their memories. Be safe and be well, everyone. Thanks so much. Thanks, Tush. Thanks for a great show. Friday night, 9/12. We're on 3 hours and 12 minutes. You guys are the best. What an amazing show. Thanks so much. Guys, I will see you on Sunday for Sunday Mass. But remember, it's very important to know that from now on, Watch Fashion Police is no longer seen on that guy's channel. I always do it the wrong way. How do I do it? This way?
Yeah, it's always backwards.
This guy's channel. It's no longer going to be in the Sheen O'Malley channel. So from now on, when you want to watch Fashion Police, and I know that you do, because you all love Michaela de Chatillon, right? So if you want to join me, Oisin, and the most beautiful girl in the whole wide world.
Yeah. The only reason I do it is.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you? You got to go to youtube.com/@Watch Fashion Police, because from now on, like Bashers, and you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being a part of the Basher world. But I started originally out as an adjunct to his channel. And eventually he just pushed me off the ledge and said, fly, little birdie, which is what we need to do with Watch Fashion Police. So guys, tune in, youtube.com, Watch Fashion Police. And don't forget to subscribe to Michaela de Chatillon at her beautiful channel. And that's it, man. Guys, remember to say please and thank you. Remember to say what's up, say hello to people, and always remember, when you encounter unkindness, you can never be sure what that person is going through, like he just did today in Venice. He said, get the world, because he was going through a thing, but the guy checked him and he gave him a little bit of a balance, and he realized that he wasn't a bad guy. You know what? So you never know when that person's a nice person or they're just a